Presented by Hibernia Bank, where service matters. Tigers getting ready to bounce back after a tough loss last week against UT on Monday night, and so much of the Tigers' success hinges on their defense, and in the defensive backfield, the name that comes up a lot is LaRon Landry, the safety, Renee.
Number 30, and he's got an opportunity to do something that's only been done one other time by Sean Birch, and that's lead this team in tackles on 3 occasions. He's got an interception to his credit, and he's called maybe the most complete safety in the entire country. He made a touchdown-saving tackle right here against Tennessee, and he does a great job.
And how about Cameron Vaughn, who's moved over from the outside linebacker position into the middle?
His reads have changed as an outside linebacker, and this is a stock right here against Eric Ainge, but he's done a great job solidifying that defense in the middle linebacker position.
And this defense will have its hands full with a very athletic and talented quarterback in Omar Connor.
Omar Connor is probably the most athletic quarterback that LSU will face all season long. You see, he has the ability to tumble and run, fall downfield, most Butler. The thing that's going to put pressure on the corners is right here, this rollout, Doug, and he'll pressure the corners, the linebackers, and defensive ends. They will have to be cognizant that he can get outside and burn them, but he can throw the ball. Sometimes he makes bad decisions and don't throw beyond the first down marker, but a very versatile guy. Against Georgia, 59% of his tosses were complete, and he played on a lame leg, so he really did a great job.
And that, of course, a season-best performance. Well, for the LSU Tigers offensively, I guess you could say Joseph Adai has been the guy.
He really has. In fact, he leads a group of running backs. They affectionately call themselves the Hard Knocks. He's got 3 touchdowns, is second in the SEC with 193 yards, and a healthy 6-yard per carry average. Here's another touchdown against Arizona State, and he is the most complete back in LSU as a blocker, runner, and as a receiver. And again, another touchdown against Tennessee just a few days ago. He may be the most complete back. 80% of his yardage comes, Doug, after contact with a defensive player.
Well, how about those LSU Tigers? Too early to panic, Renee, especially after a second-half setback against the Vols of Tennessee on Monday night.
No, you just look back to a year ago. In fact, LSU lost a heartbreaker to Auburn just a year ago, came back a week later and put a number on Mississippi State, 51-0. The same scenario. Last week losing a heartbreaker to Tennessee. They play Mississippi State again. We'll see if history repeats itself.
We certainly will. Well, we're getting ready for the starting lineups and the kickoff of today's game. It's the Tigers against the Bulldogs on this Tiger Vision broadcast right after this network break.
My bank's free checking is free if you have direct deposit and a really big balance. I want to have free checking that's really free, even if I don't have direct deposit.
All we can do is take your money.
There is a bank where checking really is free. At Hibernia, our free checking comes with free online banking with no direct deposit required. To find out more, call 1-888-755-BANK or visit any Hibernia banking office. If you've been impacted by the recent hurricanes, we're here to help with your financial needs.
It's time to re-jazz New Orleans. New Orleans and the surrounding area is a national treasure and needs to be rebuilt. Re-Jazz New Orleans is a nonprofit organization dedicated to rebuilding schools, neighborhoods, and cultural venues destroyed by the hurricane. Visit www.rejazzneworleans.org to order your own Mardi Gras beads memento. The beads include a medallion acknowledging the hurricane and commemorating New Orleans. Working together, let's put the jazz back in the New Orleans region. The nonprofit organization, sponsored by Hibernia Bank, has been formed to give us all the opportunity to help rebuild the city and its surroundings.
The Tigers are taking the field as they prepare for kickoff today against the Bulldogs of Mississippi State. And this Tiger Vision broadcast is presented by Hibernia Bank, where service matters. Hello again, everyone. Doug Greengard, along with my broadcast partner Renee Nato, as we get set for a very important early season SEC West Division matchup. And the keys to the game brought to you by Hibernia Bank, where service matters. Renee?
And LSU has to protect the ball. They've had 5 turnovers, 4 of those are fumbles. Be consistent on offense. They need to watch the way they throw the ball. Sometimes Jamarcus Russell will make a bad decision, and they need to play solid defense in the secondary. They're a dead last in the SEC in pass defense. That defensive back backfield is much more talented than they've shown thus far.
And those Bulldogs of Mississippi State looking for their first SEC win as well.
And they are capable of causing some problems for the LSU Tigers. And offensively, Omar Connor and company can cause some problems on defense. LSU's going to have to be cognizant of him getting outside. He's going to put pressure on the corners, the cornerback, linebackers, and defensive ends. He is one of the, if not the most athletic quarterback as LSU has faced all year.
It is a beautiful day for football here, and you can see from Mississippi State and their keys to the game as well, Renee.
Well, they'll show a lot of run, and as we said, Omar Khan will be the key to the Mississippi State attack. He'll go to Eric Butler. Jarius Norwood may be the best back in the SEC, capable of 1,500 yards. They need to maintain some defensive pressure. Willie Evans, number 36, you'll see him a lot, perhaps putting pressure. It'll be the key of the offensive line to keep him out of the backfield of LSU and force LSU. They want to force LSU to go 3 and 4 downs, go down the field and take a lot of downs. The more time LSU has the ball, they're thinking the more possibility of a turnover.
It is a gorgeous day here in Starkville, about 86 degrees, and you can see the crowd filing in as we're just moments away. 84 degrees currently, the high of about 86 today. Just a slight wind out of the southeast, and the forecast today, partly cloudy for this Bulldog-Tiger matchup. And the coaches for today's game, of course, Les Miles in his first season with the Tigers, 1-1 and a 28-21 overall record. Of course, Miles, the former Big 12 Coach of the Year back in 2002, as he did great things at Oklahoma State. And over on the other side, Sylvester Croom, the 31st coach in the history of Mississippi State, 5-10 overall record in his first stint and second season as the coach at Mississippi State, but his first stint as a collegiate head coach with a great history behind him in the pros. We'll talk more about that throughout the broadcast. Here's the series history. Of course, last year, a 51-0 win for LSU in Baton Rouge. The Tigers have won 5 straight and 12 of the last 13, and you can see 6-9-2 Mississippi State is all-time against the Tigers here in Starkville.
You know, talking about last year, Doug, LSU with 599 yards of total offense. It's going to be interesting to see if they can repeat last year.
Derek Pegues, the return man for Mississippi State, as the Tigers will kick off to get this one underway. Chris Jackson will handle the chores for LSU. 11 kickoffs, 7 of those have gone for touchbacks. And we are underway in Starkville. A booming kick, and that one split the uprights. And Jackson, who has a pretty strong leg, we saw him back in his high school days, Renee, at John Curtis High School. The kid's got a great leg.
Yeah, we've done some games, and he's capable of a field goal from 65 yards in. Strong leg.
Certainly is, and an outstanding baseball player as well. So Mississippi State will begin the first offensive series of this ball game at their own 20-yard line. And you see the very athletic Omar Connor completing a little better than 58% of his passes. Connor looking to pass on first down, and the pass incomplete. The intended receiver on the play, Bryson Davis, the fullback, but there is a penalty flag on the play and some good coverage there by the Tigers. Let's take a look at the lineups for Mississippi State. The lineups brought to you by
number 98. Penalty 5 yards from the previous spot. Still first down.
Claude Roden flagged for that one. The starting lineups brought to you by Hibernia Bank, where service matters. You see Jarius Norwood, the outstanding senior running back, Davis, the intended receiver on the last play, and the wideouts as well. And up on the offensive line, there is Chris McNeil, the center, and one of the seniors, 2 others, Wadley and House. And on first down again, the give is Norwood, and he picks up perhaps about a yard, perhaps 2, and that'll bring up second and short. Take a look at the LSU starting defensive line, brought to you by Hibernia Bank, where service matters. We talked about that experienced defensive line. Kyle Williams, the cog of the defense up front. And, of course, Hollis, Cameron Vaughn, and Jason Spadoni, a former running back, handling the chores at the right linebacker position And the defensive backfield, LaRon Landry calling the shots down deep. MSU needs to get about 4 for the first down. Connor under pressure from Roten. And that one up for grabs as Ronnie Prude almost had a chance to come up with an interception, but it would have been a tough one.
They went in combo coverage that time, went press on one receiver, and they kind of backed off right before the snap of the ball. Ronnie Prude was deep. He dropped deep as soon as the snap of the ball. Omar Connor was flushed out by Kyle Williams and was forced into an errant throw. Good defensive effort that time on second down by the Tiger defense.
So brings up 3rd and about 4 now for the Bulldogs. And a much improved MSU offense, but still struggling, Renee, averaging about 17 points per contest. And certainly the key is Connor getting the running game going. From the shotgun, Connor under pressure. Pass is complete for the first down. And the Bulldogs get the first down as the receiver T. Millens, the senior out of Starkville High School here in Starkville, Mississippi.
And that's his 8th catch. That's his 8th catch of the season, and he was stayed strong in the pocket. Good blocking. You see Omar Connor just dropping straight back. Looking on Millens, that was his key receiver right there, right in front of LaRon Landry. On a little curl pattern. First down for the Mississippi State Bulldogs. They keep this drive going and took the opening kickoff and doing very well last 3 plays.
And a gain of 7 on the play. First down for the Bulldogs. And on the carry, that's Norwood, and he is wrapped up by Melvin Oliver.
Melvin Oliver really kind of took off last year, was a little inconsistent at the end of the junior season, really come on from Opelika, Alabama. Done a good job as a senior, pretty fast step on the outside, and done a good job the last 2 weeks against Arizona State and Tennessee.
11 career sacks for Oliver, as he one of those 3 seniors along with Roten and Williams, who we've talked so much about already. A loss of 1 on the play, 2nd and 11 for the Bulldogs. The Tigers with 4 down defensive men and showing blitz. Connor under pressure, throws downfield to a wide open receiver. That is Joey Sanders, the sophomore, and he is in for the touchdown on a huge defensive breakdown for LSU.
And that's what happens when you blitz, Doug. You live or die by the blitz. LSU came with their safety. No one was back in support of the quarterback. Joey Sanders gets deep, and that is his first touchdown catch of the season. And boy, I tell you, Omar Connor recognized he was not going to Sanders. You see where all of the defensive backs were bunched up. No one was deep. The safety was nowhere to be found. And as Katie Bar-the-Door, Mississippi State draws first blood here in the contest.
67 yards on the play as Keith Andrews comes on for the PAT. And Andrews connects on his 31st consecutive PAT. So the Bulldogs don't waste any time getting on the board. They lead it 7-0, and we'll be back with more Tiger Vision after this network break.
My bank's free checking is free if you have direct deposit and a really big balance. I want to have free checking that's really free, even if I don't have direct deposit.
All we can do is take your money.
There is a bank where checking really is free. At Hibernia, our free checking comes with free online banking with no direct deposit required. To find out more, call 1-888-755-BANK or visit any Hibernia banking office. If you've been impacted by the recent hurricanes, we're here to help with your financial needs.
Aaron Meredith made the world's highest student score on the Certified Internal Auditor exam.
Jacob Landry is the recipient of the prestigious Harry S. Truman Scholarship.
Lisette Oropesa is a national winner of the Metropolitan Opera competition.
Amaka Agachukwu was awarded the preeminent Goldwater Scholarship.
Tam Nguyen participated in research funded by the Howard Hughes Medical Institute.
It's time to re-jazz New Orleans. New Orleans and the surrounding area is a national treasure and needs to be rebuilt. Re-Jazz New Orleans is a nonprofit organization dedicated to rebuilding schools, neighborhoods, and cultural venues destroyed by the hurricane. Visit www.rejazzneworleans.org to order your own Mardi Gras beads memento. The beads include a medallion acknowledging the hurricane and commemorating New Orleans. Working together, let's put the Jazz back in the New Orleans region. The nonprofit organization sponsored by Hibernia Bank has been formed to give us all the opportunity to help rebuild the city and its surroundings.
There he is, the receiver on a defensive breakdown for LSU, Joey Sanders, a 67-yard touchdown play right out of the box for the Bulldogs of Mississippi State as they lead 7-0 as we're just into this SEC West Division battle. Taking it his own 5-yard line is Skylar Green, who's averaging better than 15 yards every time he touches the ball, and he makes it up across the 30 to about the 35 where the Tiger offense will take over.
You know, during that last touchdown, you have to give credit to Omar Connor for recognizing the receiver deep. That was not his primary receiver. LSU caught him in kind of in the flat, covering the receiver flat, and Joey Sanders really burned him. He had 60 yards coming into this game. He had 67 yards on that one catch.
And look at Jamarcus Russell, the starting quarterback for LSU, the 7th starting quarterback in the last 8 years for the Tigers. 1st and 10 from their own 35 on the blitz. The give straight ahead, a die, maybe getting a couple of yards. Got to be impressed with Mississippi State's defense, Renee. They have really improved over a year ago. We'll talk about that more in just a moment. There's Adai holding down the offensive backfield. Steltz, the big fullback, Green, Bowe, and Jones, the tight end. As the starting lineup's brought to you by Hibernia, where service matters. That experienced offensive line for LSU. On 2nd and 8. Into Green on the flat, and he is hit immediately by Kevin Dockery, and a loss of 4 on the play.
Kevin Dockery, the best cover back for Mississippi State, came up, smelled it out, front up the blocker, did a great job from his cornerback position, and that play was a little slow developing as Jamarcus Russell got the ball out to Skylar Green, and Mississippi State really came up good to Phil on that last play.
Here's a look at the Bulldogs defense. Willie Evans, an outstanding left, and we'll talk about him as well. And there you see the rest of the Bulldogs defense. On 3rd and 7. Tigers need to get to their own 45. Russell rolling out. Plenty of time. And he'll tuck it in and make the run himself, and very close to first down territory. Great second effort, but I think he's come up about a yard short, Renee.
Yeah, they're going to have to kick it away. Good block, seal block by Joseph Adai, allowed him to get to the outside, and he just waited a little long to finally decide to run the ball. His receivers were covered.
Russell with a lot of time, but could not find anyone to unload it to.
Joseph Adai with a good block, right? You can't see it at the corner of the screen. Coming back, Andrew Whitworth finally decides to tuck it and go. He's got to protect that ball. LSU already suffered 4 fumbles in the last 2 games.
And you see Chris Jackson also handling the punting chores for LSU as he stands at his own 30-yard line. Nice high punt. This one is deep and will not be returned. Takes a Tiger bounce at the 1 and then bounces back. But what a great punt, as that one will be down at about the 8-yard line. That one looked like Tiger Woods' wedge as it spun back to the 8-yard line.
Well, he's worked with Greg Montgomery, former NFL punter, and done a great job with his form, his legs, and everything. And he's played a lot inside the 10-yard line.
Back with more from Starkville after we take a break. It's Tiger Vision, presented by Hibernia Bank.
To our valued customers and friends, the well-being of your family is of great concern.
At U.S. Agencies, we are here for you.
Our claims team is standing by to assist you. If you've been displaced by this disaster or have other auto insurance needs, walk into one of our many neighborhood offices. Contact the U.S. Post Office if you have a new forwarding address, or call us at 1-800-958-8545.
At U.S. Agencies, we are here for you.
Louisiana, we've been tried and tested. With our big hearts in these tough times, we will make it through.
Rise up, let your colors shine true. Celebrate the good things they're all around in this town. Stand up true.
Hey guys, are you between 18 and 55 and might be a little overweight? Well, the Pennington Center is doing an 18-week medication study on body fat and cholesterol levels. You will receive $1,800 at the completion of this study for your time and travel. So if you're a male between 18 and 55, a non-smoker, not taking any prescribed medications, and could use $1,800, you need to call our recruiters at 706-1004. That's 706-1004. Call today.
Back in Starkville, early first quarter action. Doug Ringard along with Renee Nato as the Bulldogs of MSU leading 7-0, and now on their second offensive series, beginning this one at their own 7-yard line. The give is Norwood, and Norwood wiggles his way up to about the 10 for a gain of 2 on the play.
Doug, I noticed that LaRon Landry kind of cheated up towards the line of scrimmage, and not as a blitzer, more as a run support player. And that's when they anticipate Mississippi State is going to run on first down, which they did.
Norwood, outstanding talent, a senior from Brandon High School, Brandon, Mississippi, has 9 career 100-yard games. And the statistics tell us that when he carries the ball 15 times or more, MSU is 7-4. On 2nd and 8, Connor rolling out, plenty of time, across the middle and overthrows the receiver, as the intended receiver was Will Prosser.
You see, that's what you have to account for. When Omar Connor rolls out, you have to account for him, because he's not just a guy rolling. He can kill you with his feet. He's capable of turning the corner, scooting up for 15, 20-yard on gain, and it does suck a defender up to cover him. LSU was equal to the challenge and did a good job on the last play.
Connor 5 and 8 as the starting quarterback for the Bulldogs. Started 9 games last year, and certainly in the maturation process, he seems to be progressing well, as we continue to emphasize, a very, very athletic young man.
Yeah, he needs to work with the mechanics just a little bit. Sometimes he hurries his throws, bad decisions.
On 3rd and long from the shotgun, Connor steps up under pressure, and he is hit from behind as the Tiger defense, Chase Pittman, came up and put a pretty good hit on him from the backside.
Chase Pittman, a transfer from Texas, from Evangel High School, did a great job coming, and boy, he's really filled that right defensive end position. You see number 94 coming off the corner. He's not on your screen. You see him right here. Boy, he just beat the left tackle. That is Brian Anderson, who may be the best interior lineman for Mississippi State. Chase Pittman, what a great motor he has.
Blake McAdams, the freshman, true freshman, who's punted more times than anybody in the SEC, 27 of them, and this one is not a pretty sight at all. But the good news for MSU is that Skylar Green won't be able to return it, but the Tigers will have field position in MSU territory.
Yeah, it was shrink the field for Jamarcus Russell and company. You see him getting instructions right there. Matt Flynn with the headsets, and Les Miles exhorting his troops.
It's time to Rejazz New Orleans. Rejazz New Orleans, a nonprofit organization sponsored by Hibernia Bank and dedicated to post-hurricane rebuilding. Visit www.rejazzneworleans.org to order your own Mardi Gras beads memento. That's rejazzneworleans.org. Certainly those funds going for a great, great cause. 1st and 10 for the Tigers from MSU's 49-yard line. Russell throwing, and an open receiver. That's Zinger. Check that, Jacob Hester, who makes the catch, but only for a couple of yards.
And they'll get Hester out of the backfield. That's his 4th catch of the season. They do slide him out in the flat, which they just did. Mississippi State was expecting a short gain, and Jamarcus Russell looking at a very important second down. They're going to need 5 or 6 yards on this play to make 3rd down interesting.
One thing the Tigers need to do is get the ball downfield to those speedy receivers, something they were unable to do, obviously, against the Vols of Tennessee on Monday night. Russell on 2nd down, going downfield. Skylar Green just out of his reach. And a great effort from Skylar, but just beyond his fingertips.
Yeah, he's 5'9". If he's 5'11", he's in the end zone, and Chris Jackson is kicking the extra points. You know, that's something that Skylar Green has to expand his game. He's been in on the short passing game and things like that. He must expand his game and read the defense. Good play right here, just out of his outstretched arms, but Skylar Green is, so far in his career at LSU, has been kind of a short yardage catcher, turning a small, short pass into a big play.
3rd down and 8 to go. The Tigers need to get to the 37 7.5-yard line of Mississippi State. Russell calling shots from the shotgun. Across the middle, pass is complete for the first down, as making the grab is Benny Brazil, the speedster and former Olympian, who certainly has seen more action than ever before in LSU's offense.
Yeah, he made his third catch just now, and his only catch last year was a 20-yard catch against Mississippi State. He has the speed, and the thing about him is they have to play soft when Xavier Carter and Benny Brazil are in the game, Doug. They have to respect his speed. You cannot let him get deep. They'll let Benny Brazil and Xavier Carter catch the stuff underneath and hopefully keep him locked up.
Brazil, the only athlete in LSU history to win national championships on two different teams, football and, of course, on track. A die on a penalty flag on the play, and a die is stuffed at about the 30-yard line.
Dead ball. False start. Number 71 on the offense. Penalty 5 yards from the previous spot. Still first down.
Nate Livings with an early jump, and that'll push the Tigers back just a bit.
Jamarcus Russell showing some composure on a completed pass to Benny Brazil. He waited for him to make his break. He just stayed strong in the pocket. Good pass protection. Les Miles looks over the situation as LSU's looking at a 1st and 15.
32nd head coach in LSU history, trying to keep his troops together in the midst of all of this hurricane madness. 1st and 15, a die, and he is stuffed at about the 35, maybe getting to about the 34 for a gain of 3.
And Doug, that's Willie Evans right there. Boy, what a load he is. He leads all SEC defensive linemen in tackles per game. He leads the SEC also in sacks and tackles for loss. Number 36, Willie Evans. You'll see a lot of him from the Mississippi State situation. Jamarcus Russell just needs to make a good play right here. Keep his composure. The running play on the first down. Pick up a couple.
Bulldogs lined up offside. Michael or Titus Brown was certainly in the neutral zone. The pass is complete. Doucette has the first down and more as he's run out of bounds at the 15-yard line. But there is a penalty flag on the play. Great pursuit by the Bulldog defense, but a well-executed play for LSU.
And that play will be coming back as LSU, I think, it may be going against the Bulldogs. I stand corrected.
Offsides. Defense. Number 54. Penalties decline. Play stands on the field.
I'm telling you, Titus Brown was lined up so far beyond the neutral zone. I could see it with my own eyes from up here. Take a look.
My apologies. As a good call, Doug, and good throw, little screen pass. Slip screen to early Doucette, and great running after the catch. He was the #1 athlete in Louisiana 2 years ago coming out of St. Martinville High School. Boy, I tell you, he's going to be an outstanding receiver in the lines of a Michael Clayton. Same kind of athlete.
5 catches now for 93 yards for Doucette on this 2005 season after a gain of 20. And the Tigers in the red zone. The give is to Adai, and Adai churning and just bowling his way up to about the 7. Nice pickup of about 8 for Adai.
You know, the former freshman All-SEC performer gets so much yardage after contact. Now keeps those legs moving. The NFL scouts love this guy. He's a great receiver out of the backfield. Played a fullback as a freshman and lined up as a wide receiver for a time in spring 2 years ago. So he's the total package. Very strong runner. And again, he leads those running backs. They call themselves the Hard Knocks.
Adai averaging a little better than 96 yards per game rushing, second best in the SEC. This the 8th play of the Tigers' drive. Adai gets the call and nowhere to go as the Bulldog defense led by Del Juan Robinson. Tiger fans, follow all the action on the internet this season in the Go Zone, the newest feature of LSUsports.net. Get enhanced LSU game day coverage, picks from hundreds of hours of video archives, and don't you dare miss a minute of live online action only in the Go Zone. Visit LSUsports.net to subscribe to the Go Zone or write to the LSU Sports at LSU.edu.
And Rudy Nicewander exited the game with an ankle injury that is maybe bigger than you anticipate. The starting center is Ryan Miller takes his spot.
3rd and 3. Russell to throw, wide open, but the play is whistled dead by a penalty. And it's been a long drive by LSU, and we've seen 3 penalty flags already on this drive alone.
Dead ball. Delay game. Number 4 offense. Still 3rd down.
Russell not getting the snap in time. And the Tigers have really struggled this year, Renee, on 3rd down. Their 3rd down conversion percentage, 8 of 28. That's just 29%. Against UT, it was 2 for 13.
Well, you can blame that last penalty on the fact that Rudy Nussweiner exited the game. There was a change with the center, and they just couldn't get it all together quick enough. But it's a very costly, hopefully it's not a costly penalty here in the red zone.
Tigers have to get down to the 4-yard line for the first. Across the middle, Brazil, the intended receiver, almost picked off by Jeremy Johnson. The free safety, the junior, had his hands on it and could not hang on.
And Jeremy Johnson, the leading tackler, just jumped that route. You can see Jamarcus Russell locked into his receiver. They knew it was coming. It locked in. Just a great play by the defensive backfield. But he really forced that ball, and LSU was even lucky to come away with a field goal opportunity here.
David Hurd, the right cornerback, with the first connection, I should say. Chris Jackson on for the field goal. And he has connected on 7 straight. This one is up, and it is good. Colt David, rather, on the field goal attempt, as David makes good on his 2nd field goal of the season. Also had a 31-yarder against UT. It's a 7-3 game. The Bulldogs leading, but the Tigers get on the board, and we'll be back with more Tiger Vision after this network break.
Persistence. It's what kept Hibernia Bank in business for over 135 years. Through wars, depressions, hurricanes, and floods, persistence is also a trademark of the customers we serve. Though the events of the last month have impacted all of us, we'll pull together to restore our lives and the communities we call home. As one of the region's largest banks, Hibernia is doing our part to make sure our neighbors and visitors get the help they need, whether it's providing financial support that allows them to move forward or just a simple smile to help them get through a rough day. Because when you've been around for 135 years, as we have, you don't just view yourself as a bank, but as a neighbor who responds when there's trouble in the neighborhood. Call 1-888-855-BANK, which is 2265. Or visit Hibernia.com to find a Hibernia location near you and to learn more about what we're doing to help. Hibernia National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
My bank's free checking is free if you have direct deposit and a really big balance. I want to have free checking that's really free, even if I don't have direct deposit.
All we can do is take your money.
There is a bank where checking really is free. At Hibernia, our free checking comes with free online banking with no direct deposit required. To find out more, call 1-888-755-BANK or visit any Hibernia banking office. If you've been impacted by the recent hurricanes, we're here to help with your financial needs.
Mississippi State up by 4 here in the first quarter in Starkville. I want to remind you to watch Coach Miles dissect the game on Inside LSU Football with Les Miles each week on the LSU Sports Television Network. Inside LSU Football with Les Miles airs at 10:35 p.m. on WBRZ Channel 2 in Baton Rouge. Check your local listings for the coverage of the Tigers in your area or visit lsusports.net. Here's a scoring drive, 9 plays, 35 yards. Taking 4:06 off the clock, and of course Colt David with his 2nd field goal of the year. And Renee, the Tigers fortunate to get some points.
Very fortunate. That 3rd down was nearly intercepted.
Derek Pegues on the return, had a 51-yarder already this season, still on his feet and trying to bounce to the outside, but unsuccessful in that attempt as the Tigers special teams do their job. Karan Gordon makes the special teams tackle.
Special teams, LSU usually leads the SEC and usually very high in the nation in that category. They have not given up a touchdown and usually keep punt return and kickoff return players bottled up. Did a good job that last time.
Sylvester Croom, the head coach for the Bulldogs of Mississippi State, saying that his Bulldogs are going to play smash mouth football. They're going to line up and play and stick with this West Coast offense. 1st and 10 from the 18-yard line and nowhere to go for Jarius Norwood.
Well, good job by the defensive lineman of LSU bottling up and taking off the running lanes. That was a zone running play. Tried to bounce it outside, and you have to be aware of the outside. Jarius Norwood does have some quick steps. He can bounce it outside. He is a sub 4.5 40 guy, so he does have great vision and not a small back. He's about 204. Very strong and powerful, and you won't always take him down with first contact.
Norwood just 62 yards coming into this game, shy of fourth place on the all-time list for Bulldog rushers. The Tigers showing blitz on 2nd and 11. Connor rolls out, pass just through the fingertips of his intended receiver as Jeremy Jones, the intended receiver.
Is Omar Connor rolled to his right and looking for Eric Butler, his favorite receiver, who's an all-SEC type guy. He's got 3 touchdown catches to his credit. That was going to be his 11th grab, averaging over 12 yards per catch.
This Tiger Vision broadcast brought to you by Hibernia Bank, where service matters. Doug Greengard along with Renee Nadeau on a 85-degree day in Starkville, Mississippi, partly cloudy, and the Bulldogs leading by 4. You can see Mississippi State has outgained the Tigers thus far. The pass complete, but well short of even back to the original line of scrimmage, and it'll be punt time for the Bulldogs.
Greg Stell's getting more action here, making another tackle. That's his 8th tackle of the season, and he's coming on nickel and dime situations out of Rommel High School in Metairie, Louisiana. Did a good job. What a future he has as a Tiger.
Nick Adams with his 2nd punt of the game, averaging a little over 42.5 yards per punt, the 2nd best in the SEC. And as we say, he is the busiest punter in the conference, with now his 29th punt of just this season. Nice high punt. Green at his own 41. And the man who led the nation in punt returns 2 seasons ago is stopped at the 42, and that's where the Tigers will take over. Want to remind you to tune into your local radio station to get your first chance to talk LSU football the day after the game on LSU Sunday Night Live. That's when, presented by Nissan. Talk about the game each Sunday with host Jordy Holtberg, locally in Baton Rouge on 107.3 FM and statewide on the LSU Sports Radio Network from 6 until 7 p.m.
State with a 5-man front right now, expecting a run.
Russell. End of the flat, that's Green, and a penalty flag on the play. Green across midfield and down to about the 49-yard line of the Bulldogs.
Anticipating they may have gotten early Doucette with his hand in the cookie jar with a hold or a grab as he was trying to block for the receiver downfield.
And of course, Green, one of the many young players from the New Orleans area whose families have been affected. So many of those players still, even today.
Against the offense, number 9, downfield blocking on the play. The penalty 15 yards from the previous spot, still first down.
Early Doucette.
Yeah, well, those are the kind of things that really hurt you right now. That's a 15-yarder as a block in the back, and Doug, that's going to really stick them back and change the complexion of what kind of plays you're going to call. Jimbo Fisher says that they usually script about the first 14 to 15 calls, come back in the second half and script some more depending on what seemed to work. But sometimes it takes, when plays happen, penalties and such, it takes you out of sync, and you have to revisit what your scripted plays were before the start of the game.
I was alluding to also moments ago just a number of players who still have people affected by the storm staying in their apartments in Baton Rouge. It's been a crazy, crazy time. And, of course, as we mentioned, Green out of Higgins High School in West Wego. You see the penalties
on the field. The pass was behind the line of scrimmage, caught behind the line of scrimmage. Therefore, you can have no offensive pass interference. The play stands as called on the field.
Well, there you have it. Can you make sense of all that, Renee?
Doug, that's why we're up here and they're down there.
And I'm glad they're wearing the stripes, but from a LSU standpoint, it's a good thing.
I didn't see a challenge come out on the field, so.
Had made reference earlier to the Bulldogs defense, a much improved running defense, where last year they gave up 190 yards per game. This year, averaging just about 97 per game. Here's another look at the play, Renee.
And you may be able to see early Doucette, but it was behind the line as he put a good move right here on the defensive back. Couldn't get away, did a good job breaking the tackle from David Hurd. It is second and short.
Russell gives to Adai, and Adai has the first down and lost his helmet, but got the first.
Well, he is the money back, and it won't be long before you see Chiron Carey. LSU does miss Ali Broussard this year, the pounder, the 235, 240-pound back who scored 3 touchdowns against State last season. And Joseph Adai has really stepped it up. More carries for Adai, Chiron Carey, and Justin Vincent in the absence of Ali Broussard.
Good look at Adai, who has 2 100-yard-plus rushing games to his credit as a Tiger. It seems like he's been with LSU forever.
He's the money guy. When you need a big play, you dial number 10.
Again to Green behind a screen. Makes a move to the outside and bumped out of bounds. They say he stepped out at the 37-yard line, and that one for a pickup of 7.
Well, Jamarcus Russell is building up his confidence a little bit, taking what the defense gives him with a little swing pass. Good block by Dwayne Bowe, number 80. You may notice a little chip block, a little hit right there, just kind of knocked him off as Skylar Green is out in space, which is what you want. But again, LSU is going to have to make that defense play honest and go downfield and challenge.
I want to keep you up to date on the scores around the SEC and the country, presented by Hibernia Bank, where service matters, in 10th-ranked Tennessee, coming off that win over the Tigers, taking it to Ole Miss. Second and short, and a double reverse in the speed merchant, Xavier Carter. Carter inside the 10 to the 5, touchdown Tigers! Xavier Carter, the SEC Freshman of the Year, takes it in for the score, 36 yards on the touchdown play.
And he had a touchdown of 67 yards on a pass from Matt Flynn last year. Good reverse, really caught Mississippi State off guard. You got to account for this kind of speed. Unbelievable second in the world in the 400 meters this past year, and Xavier Carter with the second touchdown run of his career.
As we say, the track speedster gets the Tigers on top, and now the PAT is up, and it is good by Colt David, and the Tigers, with 2:19 to go, here in the opening stanza, have taken a 10-7 advantage.
And the guy they affectionately call Pee-wee. Beep, beep, here he comes, Doug, and boy, I tell you, you see fire coming from those heels. It is really tough to take a shot at him, right through the crink. He split a couple of defensive backs and into the end zone. Nice run, puts the Tigers back on top.
There is no catching Xavier Carter when he hits full speed. There's just, maybe one other person in the world faster? Hey, it's time to Read Jazz New Orleans. Read Jazz New Orleans, a nonprofit organization sponsored by Hibernia Bank and dedicated to post-hurricane rebuilding. Visit www.readjazzneworleans.org to order your own Mardi Gras beads memento. That's readjazzneworleans.org.
Doug, I stand to be corrected. He had the second fastest in the world in 200 meters. Scoring drive, 4 plays, 57 yards, just 55 ticks off the clock. A 36-yard scamper by Xavier Carter, first this season. Extra point was good, and the Tigers lead with 2:19 remaining in the first period, 10-7. And I tell you, it kind of opens up things when you use that kind of speed to your advantage. They didn't go downfield with them, but just on the reverses. Now, Mississippi State has to be aware and cognizant of that.
Well, Renee, I think you've hit it right on the head. This is an LSU team that has more speed than probably any team in the country, and it's something that needs to be utilized.
Yeah, Benny Brazil, Xavier Carter, Skylar Green, you have some serious weapons to get downfield and stretch that team.
Chris Jackson to kick off as the Tigers have retaken the lead. And deep to return, Derek Pegues as he stands about 2 deep in his own end zone.
He was the top recruit for the Bulldogs in 2005.
And this one not quite as long, but it will make it to Pegues, who will return to the 10, 15, clothesline, still on his feet as he was hit hard by Gary Beckwith. Young man out of Baton Rouge makes the clothesline to make the initial contact.
Boy, he's excited. Parkview Baptist, his very first tackle as a Tiger. And Gary Beckwith, who's going to have a great future as a linebacker with the Tigers. Wow, is he excited. Mom and Dad, look at me back in Baton Rouge.
Today's LSU Tiger Vision game is being brought to you by Hibernia Bank, where service matters.
Proud day for that young Tiger, and boy, he'll be a great linebacker for years to come.
MSU and Connor, and the give is Norwood, and Norwood wiggles his way up about for a gain of 4 before he's stuffed. Tigers allowing just 84.5 yards rushing per game. That ranks as third best among SEC teams, and that's pretty much a given, Renee. This LSU defense traditionally has been very, very good against the run. I think the question this year is how are they going to handle passing situations in the defensive secondary?
Yeah, and that first play, Mississippi State really burned them earlier in this game. And the defensive backfields, they have to make some adjustments. They had a lot of people play against Tennessee. They need to be more consistent and work together as a unit.
2nd and about 6. Connor flushed out of the pocket by Vaughn and throws that one away. Good pressure by the LSU defense as Cameron Vaughn, the young man out of Shaw High School in Terrytown, Louisiana, former weak side linebacker, now moved to the middle position and has excelled there.
And Cameron Vaughn has done a good job. Comes right through the A gap. You know, as an inside linebacker, his reads are center, guard, and fullback. As an outside linebacker, his reads were tackle, tight end, and fullback. It's just a little bit of adjustment. May not sound like very much, but he learned a lot from Trev Folk and Brady James coming up as a young Tiger. And as a freshman with that group, he had 15 stops against Arkansas. He is very aware, very, very cerebral linebacker.
And Renee, he's gained about 25 pounds since he came on board at LSU. Right up the gut once again, Jonathan Lowe, the ball carrier. Highsmith with the tackle.
Highsmith brings that speed to the linebacker position as the Bulldogs are forced into a punting situation, and the defense of the Tigers steps up, holds Mississippi State, and puts them into a punting situation. LSU could be good field position, could get good field position on this return.
Blake McAdams, the true freshman, stands at his own 8-yard line, his 3rd punt of the contest, and not a pretty sight at all. That went off the side of his foot and goes out of bounds at the 46 of MSU. That's 2 punts that have just kind of squirted off his foot so far, and he's had one good one.
Blake McAdams, just a freshman, really may be having a little bit of the jitters as the coaching staff speaks with him about that, but LSU will get it in state territory at the 46, Doug, and wow, good way to set up with just 46 ticks here in the first stanza.
It is a pretty day as the Bulldogs play their 2nd consecutive home game here. Played, of course, against UGA on Saturday of last week. And I'll tell you, that was when Hurricane Rita was coming through the area and a tornado, Renee, touched down just hours after the football game ended and caused millions of dollars of damage right here on the campus. Russell rolling out, pass complete, Doucette still on his feet to the 30-yard line, has the first and more on a gain of 16.
And that was a deft ball handling skills by Jamarcus Russell on a naked boot. You don't see that very often, as it was more of a waggle kind of look as Jamarcus Russell rolls to the right looking for early Tiger Doucette. As you can see, Jamarcus Russell, just a naked boot rolling to the right, hitting early Doucette and just lets him go in space and do the rest of the damage. First down, early Doucette with his 2nd grab, and boy, he's going to be a tremendous athlete before he leaves here. Great skills, leaper, great explosion coming out of his cuts and reading the defense better as a receiver.
On 1st and 10. The Bulldogs showing blitz and jumping offside. A free play for LSU as it's whistled dead, actually. And so that'll be an offside penalty on the Bulldogs as they were showing blitz. And I believe it was coming up from his strong safety position. Was it DeMario Bobo on a safety blitz?
We're going to get the call here. Got a great story on early Doucette. As you see, Les Miles kind of challenging a call. Are they saying that LSU drew him off sides?
Dead ball, offsides by the defense number 2. We had contact. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
It was Quentin Culberson, former high school parade All-American at a Provine High School in Jackson, Mississippi, who jumped offside.
And he is the fastest middle linebacker in the SEC, just about 6 feet, 228, but a 4'5" guy, legitimate. Once played corner and safety for the Mississippi State Bulldogs, moved him in the middle to be a playmaker.
And that is the end of the first quarter as the Tigers of LSU come back to take a 10-7 lead. It has been a busy first quarter.
As you see, Omar Connor striking with a touchdown.
And we'll be back after this local break. The Tigers up by 3.
endless summer awaits thanks to the spa and pool heating, cooking, and lighting of natural gas. Efficient, reliable, economical. We're making the most of the great outdoors. You're always comfortable with natural gas.
Did you know you can pay your bills online at atmosenergy.com?
Louisiana, we've been tried and tested. With our big hearts in these tough times, we will make it through.
Rise up, let your colors shine true. Celebrate the good things they're all around in this town. Stand up and let your colors shine through. We are Louisiana true.
Home entertainment by Kadares. Kadares. The choice is clear.
And welcome back to Starkville, Mississippi, as the Tigers of LSU, having taken a 10-7 lead after an early setback, but seem to have bounced back well to this point. Tigers knocking on the door of the red zone. That is Skylar Green, turns the corner and run out of bounds at the 15-yard line for yet another Tiger first down. And Renee, they just continue to move the chains now.
That was a great block by Dwayne Bowe on a swing pass to Skylar Green. He sealed off the inside, allowed Skylar Green to get to the outside on a low swing pass from Jamarcus Russell. And LSU again utilizing the speed with Skylar Green on the outside.
And here's some first quarter numbers. You see the Tigers 60 rushing yards to just 11 for the Bulldogs, and Mississippi State take away the long touchdown play, 67 yards. They haven't moved the ball offensively.
Justin Dixon in the backfield now for the Tigers. See if what he can do is the second running back for the Tigers.
And still with it, Russell looks to the end zone, wide open receiver, touchdown, Dwayne Bowe. Bowe with his first touchdown catch of the season. The young man who did not play against Arizona State because of an ankle injury gets the score, and the Tigers now leading 16-7.
And that was just a little fade route. Jamarcus Russell back, waiting for him to make his break. Just on the corner right there in the end zone, and a great throw where only Dwayne Bowe could catch it. That was his fourth grab of the season. He had 6 for 99 yards against Mississippi State just a year ago.
As he had a couple step advantage on Kevin Dockery. And the PAT from Colt David is up, and it is good. And the Tigers have roared back from a 7-0 deficit. They lead it by 10, back with more after this network break.
My bank's free checking is free if you have direct deposit and a really big balance. I want to have free checking that's really free, even if I don't have direct deposit.
All we can do is take your money.
There is a bank where checking really is free. At Hibernia, our free checking comes with free online banking with no direct deposit required. To find out more, call 1-888-755-BANK or visit any Hibernia banking office. If you've been impacted by the recent hurricanes, we're here to help with your financial needs.
Peter Chen is developing cybersecurity methods to help track terrorists and other criminals.
Nathan Call is discovering innovative new ways to teach autistic children.
Nina Lamb combines technology and geography to study problems ranging from cancer to AIDS.
Erno Sejo is finding ways to protect humans from inhaled threats like anthrax or SARS.
Jorge Aravena and Kim and Joe are developing computer systems for safer airplanes.
My bank's free checking is free if you have direct deposit and a really big balance. I want to have free checking that's really free, even if I don't have direct deposit.
All we can do is take your money.
There is a bank where checking really is free. At Hibernia, our free checking comes with free online banking with no direct deposit required. To find out more, call 1-888-755-BANK or visit any Hibernia banking office. If you've been impacted by the recent hurricanes, we're here to help with your financial needs.
LSU has roared back with 17 unanswered points to take a 10-point advantage here early second quarter on this Tiger Vision broadcast presented by Hibernia Bank, where service matters. Hey, it's time to Rejazz New Orleans. Rejazz New Orleans, a non-profit organization sponsored by Hibernia Bank and dedicated to post-hurricane rebuilding. Visit www.rejazzneworleans.org to order your own Mardi Gras beads memento. That's rejazzneworleans.org.
And Doug, if I may, I proudly bank at Hibernia and always been treated very professionally. Love the service there.
Well, service does matter there, as the Tigers and Dwayne Bowe now enjoying a 17-7 advantage. LSU kicks off. That one taken on the bounce by Pegues, and risky venture indeed. He's run out of bounds, and a penalty flag on the play as number 18, Jacob Hester, on the special teams tackle.
Extracurricular activity, perhaps?
I'll tell you, Pegues, pretty dangerous to pick that thing up off the bounce, but somebody's got to touch it, don't they?
Well, you know, Pegues is a guy, we said he's the marquee recruit in 2005.
Doing the run back, blocking the back, number 28 on the return team. The penalty's 10 yards from the end of the run. It will be first down.
So the Bulldogs push back a bit closer to their own end zone after the block in the back penalty. And the Tigers' offense has really hit full steam. And now the key is, can the defense put the clamps on the Bulldogs, who really take away that 67-yard touchdown play? They only have, my math perhaps is not correct, but about 8 yards of total offense.
Look at that. Jamarcus Russell, 9 out of 11, 92 yards and a touchdown. Most of his passes have been the short version, but he has been successful.
Connor rolling out. He'll tuck it in and make a run for it. And he gets across the 20 to about the 23-yard line and very close to first down territory. And again, you see his athleticism, the young man who was Mr. Football in Mississippi out of Noxubee County High School in Macon, Mississippi.
And he is a playmaker, a very dangerous runner. That was strictly a run, a called run. And he can stretch that defense and put pressure on the corner. Nice run, pursuit by Tyson Jackson of LSU. Strong arm, dangerous runner, quick feet by Omar Connor. Played a little wide receiver as a freshman. His first catch was against the LSU Tigers right here.
How about that? Too talented to keep at the wide receiver position. They brought him back to quarterback, which was how he was recruited from day one. Connor under pressure, open receiver, but overthrows the intended receiver as LaRon Landry was right there on the coverage, but a penalty flag is on the play.
LaRon Landry playing center field in that defensive secondary. Did a great job at closing speed on Eric Butler and swatting the ball away. Incomplete.
Landry, an outstanding athlete out of Hahnville High School in Ama, Louisiana.
It was against an eligible receiver on a pass that crossed the line. Therefore, it's an automatic first down.
And there it is. And Mississippi State at this point will take first downs any way they can because they have not been able to move the football. They had on their 3 previous series, Renee, gone 3 and out.
And the Tigers have scored on 3 prior possessions. So that's the way this game is turned with 13:58 remaining here in the second quarter. LSU with a comfortable 10-point advantage.
The ball spotted on the Mississippi State 33-yard line. Norwood, the halfback, takes the pitch. And not much running room as he's stuffed up near the line of scrimmage. Over to make the play, Ali Highsmith getting some help from his friends, including Cameron Vaughn.
Ali Highsmith, nice pursuit as Ali Highsmith and Cameron Vaughn collaborate for this stop here. Ali Highsmith, who leads the SEC with 2 fumbles forced, and Cameron Vaughn, the leading stopper for the LSU Tigers, coming into this game with 17 tackles, which is 6th in the SEC among tackles. Boy, he has done a great job, and you know, he has learned so much. Got a brother played at Southern Mississippi, Chris Vaughn, and his mom is very, very proud of him back in Marrero.
One of 7 seniors who start on this LSU defense. Connor on second down, and the play whistled dead. And we've seen plenty of flags so far today.
Dead ball. Delay game. Number 14 offense. Penalty's 5 yards from the previous spot. Still second down.
You know, that's not always the quarterback. Sometimes they quick to blame the quarterback as not game management. Sometimes the defense will shift and it will call for a check with me type of thing. The quarterback will want to change the play, and sometimes it doesn't get away. But you don't want to call the wrong play, lose the ball, or something doesn't happen, and just check out of that play. So sometimes the defense's change may cause that delay of game.
Second down and now 15. Connor under pressure, unloads it, pass complete. Norwood, the halfback, and a penalty flag thrown at the end of that play after a gain of about 7 on the play.
And Mississippi State may be walking backwards. We'll see who this penalty is against.
Good look at Sylvester Kroom.
Personal foul. Number 30 on the white. 15-yard face mask. The penalty be added to the end of the run. It's an automatic first down.
And the second first down by penalty on this drive for the Bulldogs. And it was T. Millens who had the reception.
And that's something that LSU is shooting themselves in the foot and aiding Mississippi State. They held them bottled up and kept them behind the first down marker, and now they're giving them a first down and inside LSU territory.
And the Tigers amongst the most penalized teams in the SEC. Another look at Millens and the catch, and here's the aftermath.
Well, you can see LaRon Landry tying up with a potential blocker, and that's where the infraction came from.
Batted down and under pressure. They say incomplete, but my goodness, the Tigers looked like they had almost come up with a gift.
As Jesse Daniels comes up with the safety blitz and the block, and what a great job, number 31 coming off the edge, knocking down a potential pass from Omar Connor. Second down, stops the clock.
Roten looked like he was off to the races. Good look there at Jesse Daniels, the junior out of Breaux Bridge High School, has a sack to his credit so far this year.
And a first cousin of former Tiger and now Houston Texan Dominic Davis.
He certainly has done great things in the National Football League, as so many former Tigers have. Connor dumps it off short, and that is Norwood, has the first down, and he's across the 35 down to about the 34-yard line on a nice play between Omar Connor and his halfback, Jarius Norwood.
Blocking it back against the Tigers. The referee didn't pick it up, but a nice play developed there by Mississippi State, gets him inside the 35-yard line, and they're moving the ball, moving the change with a lot of time left with under 12 minutes, just under 12 minutes to go, as LSU continues to insert fresh defensive linemen.
Norwood making his 24th consecutive start for LSU as he continues to climb up the all-time ranks here with the Bulldogs. The give straight ahead, and that is Jonathan Lowe. And Lowe is just that, little guy, 5'6", 180-pound sophomore out of Central High School in Phoenix City, Alabama, who's got some football in the family.
Oh, he really does. His uncle, Woodrow Lowe, played for Alabama, played on the national championship team, then spent quite a few years, 12 years with the San Diego Chargers, and Jonathan's dad, Eddie, also performed for Alabama and spent 9 years with Saskatchewan in the Canadian Football League.
Up there north of the border, eh? 2nd and 5. Connor overthrows his intended receiver as he just gets it right over the hands of Bryson Davis, the fullback.
Bryson Davis with 5 grabs, Doug, and he's like an offensive guard in the backfield as a blocker, but he's a very adept receiver as for the Bulldogs. And they throw him a bone, no pun intended, a bulldog right there every once in a while. Let him run with it. Ouch is right.
So that'll bring up 3rd and 6 for the Bulldogs. And you see today 1 of 4 on 3rd down conversions for MSU. Connor under pressure and overthrows the intended receiver. Had to get rid of it as he tried to hook up with Will Prosser, but this will bring up a punting situation as the Bulldogs just out of field goal range, I have to think.
And Jesse Daniels came on a blitz, which hurried that throw, but LSU rolled the coverage to the left. Craig Stelz, that was his man on coverage, and he was certainly in the area and calls for a 4th down. And State will attempt.
They certainly will.
47-yarder.
Keith Andrews will attempt the field goal. His longest is a 37-yarder. He missed a 48-yarder against Auburn. It hit the goalpost from 47 yards. This one is up, plenty of distance. And it is no good, wide to the right. Plenty of leg, but just not distance. And the Tigers hang on to their 10-point lead. And we'll be back with more from Starkville, Mississippi. LSU up 17-7. And we'll be back after this network break.
It's time to re-jazz New Orleans. New Orleans and the surrounding area is a national treasure and needs to be rebuilt. Re-Jazz New Orleans is a nonprofit organization dedicated to rebuilding schools, neighborhoods, and cultural venues destroyed by the hurricane. Visit www.rejazzneworleans.org to order your own Mardi Gras beads memento. The beads include a medallion acknowledging the hurricane and commemorating New Orleans. Working together, let's put the jazz back in the New Orleans region. The nonprofit organization, sponsored by Hibernia Bank, has been formed to give us all the opportunity to help rebuild the city and its surroundings.
My bank's free checking is free if you have direct deposit and a really big balance. I want to have free checking that's really free, even if I don't have direct deposit.
All we can do is take your money.
There is a bank where checking really is free. At Hibernia, our free checking comes with free online banking with no direct deposit required. To find out more, call 1-888-755-BANK or visit any Hibernia banking office. If you've been impacted by the recent hurricanes, we're here to help with your financial needs.
Beautiful day in Starkville, especially if you're an LSU Tiger fan, as LSU has roared back from a 7-0 deficit to score 17 unanswered. And what a day for the offense as they started slow, Renee, and have picked up some steam.
9 completions for Jamarcus Russell. This one going to Skylar Green, a short version. The second catch for Early Doucette picks up a big first down right here, and he comes back with his second touchdown toss of the season. This one from Dwayne Bowe, his 4th grab and his first touchdown catch in 2005.
All right, back to live action as Jamarcus Russell hooks up with his favorite receiver, at least today, Skylar Green, and Green makes a nice pickup as he picks up 9 on the play.
Skylar Green with a couple of grabs, his 7th of the season. Oh, I'll tell you, he's doing pretty good. 10 out of 12, 102 and 1 touchdown, and he has protected the ball. Hasn't suffered an interception as of yet. Did a pretty good job. That was one of the keys we anticipated at the start of the game.
They're saying a gain of 9, and so it'll be just 2nd and inches for LSU.
Joseph Adai time, perhaps?
2nd and 1.
And you made the call as he bounces out to the left side and gets, I believe, the first down. But if he did, it will not be for very much as the MSU defense rises to the occasion. Clarence McDougal from his strong side linebacker position makes the tackle.
You know, as they measure this, Doug, if I may make an observation here, the SEC is the only officiating crew in the entire country on a short yardage situation. They bring their officials closer to where the ball is to get a better sight. Big Ten, ACC, everyone else has keeps their officials on the sidelines. SEC brings their officials closer to the ball to get a better sight of where the ball lands.
Well, they got an eyeball on that one, and it was enough for an LSU first down, and probably by about inches. So Russell continues to lead the troops. A very slow start for LSU's offense today, and that they've certainly picked up some speed. And Russell has played near flawless football, leading the Tiger attack. That's Bowe in motion to the near side. The give is to Adai. Adai to the 45 and to about the 46, where he is swarmed over. Jamar Chaney, amongst others, in for the tackle. Coming your way from Starkville, Mississippi on this Tiger Vision broadcast presented by Hibernia Bank, where service matters. The 4th-ranked LSU Tigers here at the midway point of the second quarter, leading 17-7. I'm Doug Ringard along with Renee Nadeau. And penalties, we've seen some flags so far, and we've got ourselves a good one brewing here in Starkville. 2nd down and about 6. Russell. Plenty of time, now pressured, and he is dropped at the 36-yard line as the MSU defense and Del Juan Robinson gets the sack.
And you watch, he had a lot of time. This is a coverage sack. The defensive backfield did not allow Jamarcus Russell to go down as Willie Evans is coming on the inside right here. You can see he is fighting relentless. Number 36 right here wraps him up for his 7th sack, SEC leading sack of this season. And Jamarcus Russell really took a shot there. It was better to take a sack than try to throw it into an interception, Doug. And sometimes his decisions in the past, sometimes to try to force him to throw it, coaches would rather see him take a sack right here.
Russell started 4 games last year and has taken over the starting quarterback position in 05. Needs a timeout as he lines up on a 3rd and long situation and does not like what he sees from the Mississippi State defense. Russell certainly in a heated battle during the spring and during the summer for this starting quarterback position, beating out Matt Flynn. And there's another very talented freshman looming out there in Ryan Perilou.
Well, let me back up a little bit. They don't want to really see him take a sack. Actually, they'd like to see him throw the ball away. But, you know, he holds the ball a little too long, and that's something that's going to come with maturity. But if it comes to an interception or a sack, I guess the sack is better. But as he becomes progressed in his quarterback position, he will learn to throw the ball away and get out of the pocket, just step a couple of steps and throw it away.
LSU Sunday Night Live is presented by Nissan. Tune into your local radio dial to get your first chance to talk LSU football the day after the game on LSU Sunday Night Live, presented by Nissan. Talk about the game each Sunday with host Jordy Holtberg, locally in Baton Rouge on 107.3 FM and statewide on the LSU Sports Radio Network from 6 until 7 p.m.
When LSU travels very well, you can see some of the very local and vocal fans right here supporting the Tigers.
And you see the stats on the quarterback comparison so far. Russell has been near perfect, and Connor has been a bit inconsistent, Renee, but 95 total passing yards, 67 of those came on the opening touchdown.
DeMarcus now facing a tough situation.
3rd and 14 for Russell. Young man from Mobile, Alabama. Under pressure, steps up to avoid it, and now still on his feet but taken down. Great pressure from MSU as Andrew Powell, the big 6', 300-pound junior, swarms him over and takes him down at the 33.5-yard line.
And also credit Willie Evans again coming. He didn't make the stop, but he did flush, and 58 as well. That's Michael Hurd also flushing and causing him to step right into Andrew Powell. He had nowhere to go. They came with 5, 6 guys, and even though it was max protection, they got to Jamarcus Russell.
So Chris Jackson stands at his own 20 and gets off a nice punt, high and spiraling, called for a fair catch at the 29-yard line, where the Bulldogs will take over. 17-7 with 17 to go. LSU with a 10-point lead, and we'll be back with more from this Tiger Vision broadcast after this network break.
Persistence. It's what kept Hibernia Bank in business for over 135 years. Through wars, depressions, hurricanes, and floods, persistence is also a trademark of the customers we serve. Though the events of the last month have impacted all of us, we'll pull together to restore our lives and the communities we call home. As one of the region's largest banks, Hibernia is doing our part to make sure our neighbors and visitors get the help they need, whether it's providing financial support that allows them to move forward or just a simple smile to help them get through a rough day. Because when you've been around for 135 years, as we have, you don't just view yourself as a bank, but as a neighbor who responds when there's trouble in the neighborhood. Call 1-888-855-BANK, which is 2265, or visit Hibernia.com to find a Hibernia location near you and to learn more about what we're doing to help. Hibernia National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
My bank's free checking is free if you have direct deposit and a really big balance. I want to have free checking that's really free, even if I don't have direct deposit.
All we can do is take your money.
There is a bank where checking really is free. At Hibernia, our free checking comes with free online banking with no direct deposit required. To find out more, call 1-888-755-BANK or visit any Hibernia banking office. If you've been impacted by the recent hurricanes, we're here to help with your financial needs.
LSU up 17-7 as the Tigers trying to hand Mississippi State its 17th consecutive loss to an SEC West opponent. Watch Coach Miles dissect the game on Inside LSU Football with Les Miles each week on the LSU Sports Television Network. Inside LSU Football with Les Miles airs at 10:35 p.m. on WBRZ Channel 2 in Baton Rouge. Check your local listings for the coverage of the Tigers in your area or visit lsusports.net. On first down, Jarius Norwood, the ball carrier, and Norwood's been pretty quiet so far today.
He really has. It kept them bottled up, and he is, with a good offensive line, he has the potential to rush for 1,500 yards, and LSU has kept him bottled up pretty good. Last tackle made by Tyson Jackson. This is a freshman out of West of St. John, number 93, Doug, but I liken his skills to a Marquise Hill, who's now playing for the New England Patriots, a 6'5", 290-pound guy, Tyson Jackson. Oh, I tell you, he will be a good one as he progresses.
Norwood already this year with 2 100-yard rushing games, both against non-SEC foes. As Connor completes the pass and still on his feet to midfield, someone lost a helmet in a crushing blow as the Tigers, oh my goodness, there was some serious contact. That's Norwood down there, and I'm telling you, almost sparks flew as amongst those for the Tigers, number
Jesse Daniels.
Yeah, Jesse Daniels, right.
That was a bad train wreck. You can hear the tires screeching right here. They caught LSU flat-footed as they allowed the defensive backfield to come on to Omar Connor. They caught him in a perfect defense, good blocking. Ooh, and you can see that Kenny Hollis is the one that delivered a blow not only to Norwood, but also to Jesse Daniels as he's scooting up, getting positive yards here. Watch this tackle. Bang!
And look at the helmet of Jesse Daniels.
That's a chin strap.
Just flew off his head. And he certainly has taken a hit. And still down on the field is Jarius Norwood, and not a lot of movement from him. He got hit by a train.
Well, I tell you, watch this. Kenny Hollis.
Just listen in. I don't know if we could maybe get the natural sound on that, but that was some kind of a shot.
That might have been a natural sound. Here comes a train. That, Kenny Hollis, who's really put together, he looks like a linebacker, and boy, I tell you, he really laid the wood to Jarius Norwood and unfortunately his own teammate Jesse Daniels. We sincerely hope that Jarius Norwood is up and moving shortly as he's being attended to right near the sidelines.
Let's see if we can take a listen to this one, just sound only. Don't have it apparently, but my goodness, that was some kind of a collision. And this is a good sight, folks, because Norwood, after a 19-yard gain, took the shot of his life.
Wow.
It's time to Rejazz New Orleans. Rejazz New Orleans, a nonprofit organization sponsored by Hibernia Bank and dedicated to post-hurricane rebuilding. Visit www.rejazzneworleans.org to order your own Mardi Gras beads memento. That's rejazzneworleans.org.
Well, that's the kind of play that's Mike Singletary or Ray Lewis, Dick Butkus make. That is a violent collision.
The bells are still ringing. Connor on first down, looking downfield, and he escapes Kyle Williams, then throws incomplete as the intended receiver was Aubrey Bell, the wide receiver and true freshman who could not hang on to the football.
He got pressure from Kyle Williams, and next Kenny Hollis once again comes up with pressure and forcing Omar Connor to throw before he wanted to, and it's an incomplete pass.
Boy, Williams had him wrapped up, and he just seemed to dance right around him and pull out of the tackle.
Very elusive, and sometimes he gets a little impatient with his throw, but that was a good decision. Just threw it a little too tall.
Coming off that 19 of 32, 205-yard performance against Georgia. The give straight ahead. That's DeMarcus Johnson, the backup halfback, young man out of College Park, Georgia. Check that. Brandon Hart, actually, the ball carrier. Hart, a 5'10", 240-pounder out of LaGrange, Georgia.
As State brings in multi-receiver package with third and long.
certainly have the ability to spread it out. One thing we have not seen much of is Connor hooking up with his tight end Eric Butler, who just had a huge freshman year last year and has continued in that pace so far this year. Under pressure, Connor unloads it. Pass is complete to Will Prosser, and Prosser is run out of bounds by the Tigers' Craig Stelz at about the 43-yard line. And you see now Jarius Norwood being taken off the field, and he looks real shaken up.
And he's really going to, we hope that is not a serious injury of any kind. Might have a concussion, just be dazed for a second. But we sincerely hope he's okay. He's such a vital part of this Mississippi State team, and what a great young man he is.
4th down, and the Bulldogs appear to be going for it. And now LSU takes a timeout. And there you see Jarius Norwood, 5th all-time, rushing on the Bulldogs' all-time list as he is escorted off the field to seek some additional medical attention after that jarring hit down at about midfield just a few moments ago.
Tell you what a violent hit. That reminds me of the movie Tommy Boy. That's going to leave a mark, huh? Whew. Wow, what a collision. You know, I tell you what, though, this is SEC football. It's high speed. This is why you have to be in shape, and it's not for the faint of heart. We hope that Jarius Norwood is able to return here in the second half and get back on his feet, because, again, he's a great young man and such a vital part of Mississippi State and a great representative of the SEC.
Watch Coach Miles dissect the game on Inside LSU Football with Les Miles each week on the LSU Sports Television Network. Inside LSU Football with Les Miles airs at 10:35 p.m. on WBRZ Channel 2 in Baton Rouge. Check your local listings for the coverage of the Tigers in your area, or visit lsusports.net.
That last play, tackle made by Craig Stelz. You know, sometimes teams will have a linebacker where they call it buzzing underneath the coverage, and it was Craig Stelz's job to buzz, if you will, underneath the coverage, and anything short to pick it up, made the stop short of a first down, and it was because of his efforts that Mississippi State is going for 4th down.
Yes, they are. 1 of 2 MSU is on 4th down conversions on this season. And LSU's 4th down defense, 3 tries, 2 successful attempts by the opponents. Connor rolling out near midfield and trying to dump it off, and he does successfully. 1st down for the Bulldogs as he hooks up with the running back Bryson Davis on just a little flip pass as Davis gets the first and a bit more.
And another Bulldog may be injured on the sidelines of LSU. Don't have a number yet. Wow, and it is Omar Connor. Ill afford. He was injured last year against LSU, and they can ill afford to lose his services.
Maybe we can get another look-see at that one and see what happened with Connor after he unloaded it. Certainly under pressure and right there by the sideline, and probably took a pretty good pop from someone as the LSU defense was right upon him.
And the reason why the official won't call that, he was so close to the sideline that he could have turned and scooted up the field as his Melvin Oliver and company are in hot pursuit. And he's just hit, but a nice throw. Kept his composure and completes the pass to Bryson Davis. State will be 1st down as Omar is getting on his feet. Appears to be okay.
Well, he's still still got the worst seat in the house right now. Right at about the 40-yard line. Here's an ISO shot at the end of the play. And, it was trying to make an athletic move to avoid, it looked like, the 1st down marker, because it didn't look like it was really the push that was the problem. And we'll see if Connor stays in the game. You see his numbers, 8 of 17 for 131, more than half of those coming on a 67-yard touchdown pass to Sanders in the first opening series of the game.
And you see how athletic he is and how much pressure he puts on those linebackers, cornerbacks, and defensive ends that he can break contain. His new quarterback in, Michael Hennig.
And Hennig on the season, 2 games in his redshirt freshman season, 2 of 5 for 10 yards. And they are saying that the preliminary report on Norwood is a mild concussion, and don't expect him to be back.
You know, this is a great setback to Mississippi State losing your 2 best players in Connor and Norwood.
On the handoff. Brandon Hart. And Hart picks up a handful. And Connor coming back into the game to the delight of the Bulldog fans.
Well, he was hurt last week against Georgia, Doug, on a game leg, a limp he carried through the third and fourth quarter and led Mississippi State with nearly a comeback and did a great job. He plays with a lot of pain.
Bulldogs need to get to the 21. Hart again on the carry, picks up about 2 on the play, and that'll bring up third and short for the Bulldogs. Highsmith in on the tackle.
Brendan Hart, a big 5'10", 240 bowling ball, 240-pound bowling ball for just a freshman for the maroon and white. And LSU facing a third down situation, would like to hold them to a field goal attempt.
Tigers next week playing at Vanderbilt, and how about those Commodores off to a 4-0 start as they tee it up tonight. On third and about 3, Connor looks downfield, open receiver, intercepted by Ronnie Prude in the end zone. A clutch play as Prude closed the distance to make the INT, and Prude comes up as the Tigers dodge the bullet.
And he comes up with the first interception as he came from his left cornerback position, rolled to the right, mirroring the quarterback, and played that free safety as he rolled the coverage. You can see Omar Connor just aired it up, put too much air underneath it, and allowed Ronnie Prude to come up and make the interception as the pass was intended. You see right here, he just stole it away from Keon Humphreys, the intended receiver, and had he just maybe thrown a little more mustard, it might have been completed for a touchdown. Great play by Ronnie Prude.
Ronnie Prude, a second-year senior. That's right. This is the second time he's had a senior season. As Adai gets the carry but loses about a yard. Prude, an outstanding young athlete who NCAA eligibility, was able to get back another senior season, and the Tigers are most grateful right now.
Worked hard in the classroom from Fair Park and Shreveport and really did a great job. You know, Jamarcus Russell, with 83% of his tosses finding their mark, he's having a pretty good day, Doug.
He certainly is. Russell knows how to throw the football. Back in Alabama, holds a record in the high school ranks. 84 touchdowns and also nearly 11,000 passing yards. That's just unthinkable. On second and a little more than 10, Russell over the top. The pass complete. Doucette. And Doucette with the reception is third of the day, but just short of having a first down.
You know, who does Jamarcus Russell remind you of? Kind of like a Rohan Davey, who's now with the Cardinals. And Jamarcus, if you remember Rohan Davey, he started kind of slow in his early career with the Tigers, and he really didn't catch fire, Doug, until late in his junior season, of course, his senior year. But I think Jamarcus Russell, he's got a great career ahead of him, and it's not too soon. I mean, you don't want to hurt his psyche or hurt his confidence, and he's having a good job so far.
Bulldogs defense allowing almost 18 points per game, and that's about where the Tigers are so far. That's Adai, has the first down and gets the needed yards as we move down to the 1:30 mark here in the second quarter, just before halftime.
And his own running play, running behind the right side. We still had Niswanger has not returned, and Ryan Miller has filled in for him at safety. We hope that Rudy is not seriously injured coming back for his senior year, and that line has done a good job opening some holes for Joseph Adai and Justin Vincent.
Russell, the 6'6", 252-pound sophomore from the shotgun. Looks downfield, wide open receiver, Brazil with his second catch of the day for a gain of 8.
That's just a sideline out pattern that Benny Brazil has worked on his skills a little bit. And, boy, I tell you what, you got to respect him. You got to keep him in front of you, because if he turns that short pass, all of a sudden it's Katie Ball at the door. You know, you look back on who does he remind you of as an athlete who's developed slowly? Slip Watkins, who I think LSU fans may recall, was a speedster. He went on to play a little bit in the NFL, and Benny Brazil may have a future there.
A 2004 Olympian who finished 8th in the 400-meter hurdles at the Olympics in Athens. And the pass is complete. Doucette on the reception, and the chains keep on moving. The Tigers trying to put some points on the board before the half.
Early with 4 grabs, the sophomore to St. Martinville. And, boy, I tell you, Jamarcus really put a little zing on that pass.
Russell from the shotgun. Of course, moving the chain stops the clock. And Russell downfield, wide open receiver again, dropped it though, as Dwayne Bowe, the junior from Norland High School in Miami, can't get that one into the breadbasket.
Well, he usually catches well with his hands, and good look right here.
I want to mention coming up at halftime, it's the Hibernia Bank Report where Service Matters. We'll speak with Athletic Director Skip Bertman, talk about the LSU athletes who've assisted in the hurricane relief for Katrina and Rita. And we'll also have first half highlights and statistics. Just 44 seconds remaining first half. Russell, pass complete, Green, and Green picks up perhaps about 3, but the clock continues to roll at 34, 33, and coming up as they now stop it at 32 seconds.
Well, you know, Mississippi State in that soft zone, they can let everything go underneath them, and they're not going to get burned deep. It's going to be tough. The only way LSU can break one is a short pass that may turn, break a tackle or two, and get up the field.
Tiger fans, follow all the action on the internet this season in the Go Zone, the newest feature of LSUsports.net. Get enhanced LSU game day coverage, picks from hundreds of hours of video archives, and don't you miss a minute of live online action, only in the Go Zone. Visit LSUsports.net to subscribe to the Go Zone or write to LSU Sports at lsu.edu. The Go Zone, the official webcast site for LSU athletics.
This certainly has to help Jamarcus Russell's confidence. Pretty little Bulldog future cheerleader.
So much talk. We'll mention that here in a moment, but some scores from around the SEC presented by Hibernia Bank where service matters. Ole Miss got a touchdown, but so did Tennessee, 27-10 there in the fourth quarter. And this one just underway. Alabama leading Florida 7-0, and of course Florida is Mississippi State's next opponent. They'll play at the Swamp next Saturday. So much talk last week in that second half collapse by LSU about the LSU offense and how it just evaporated, and certainly Russell has answered some critics here in the first half after a slow start.
But it remains to be seen how LSU comes out of the second half. They will receive the ball. We'll see how that develops.
Russell from midfield goes for the sideline, a dive, and after a gain of 6, he's bumped out of bounds on the tackle, number 23, David Hurd. Adai, one of the SEC leaders in rushing, of course, and the fifth-year senior has just really come on strong this year and has always been one of those guys, Renee, who's just always there when you need him.
Yeah, he makes the big catch, the big run, and LSU's going to have to kick it away right now as Bulldogs hoping to get something, turn something as Jonathan Lowe drops back deep in coverage.
Tigers not getting enough for the first down. And we'll watch some of the clock management here as well as Tigers are going to give the ball back to Mississippi State. Chris Jackson punting, and some great special teams coverage down there by the Tigers as Daniel Francis downs it at about the 3-yard line. And the Bulldogs, I would not be surprised if they just didn't go ahead and take the knee and get out of half trailing by 10.
Well, with 14 ticks, you don't want to have anything happen crazy here with LSU. You get an opportunity for at least a field goal. So, yes, they're going to be very cautious with the ball down inside of 5. Once again, Chris Jackson with great placement on his punts, and Gant Petty, who snapped, Doug, was the first one down, did touch it. Daniel Francis downed it for the Tigers. But Omar Connor just wants to get out here safely, as you just alluded to.
And looks like he'll just take a knee to close out the first half, and he certainly does that. So the LSU Tigers, after trailing 7-0 with just a minute and a half gone in this game, have rallied back to score 17 unanswered points, and they lead at halftime by a score of 17-0. So much coming up at half, including an interview with LSU Athletic Director Skip Bertman. We'll have statistics and also all about the hurricane relief by LSU athletes and all those others associated with the LSU family. That's all coming up at the half, presented by Hibernia Bank. Take a look at some of the second quarter action. Xavier Carter, the speedster, getting the touchdown, and Bowe with the go-ahead touchdown. Back with more after this network break.
It's time to re-jazz New Orleans. New Orleans and the surrounding area is a national treasure and needs to be rebuilt. Re-Jazz New Orleans is a nonprofit organization dedicated to rebuilding schools, neighborhoods, and cultural venues destroyed by the hurricane. Visit www.rejazzneworleans.org to order your own Mardi Gras beads memento. The beads include a medallion acknowledging the hurricane and commemorating New Orleans. Working together, let's put the jazz back in the New Orleans region. The nonprofit organization, sponsored by Hibernia Bank, has been formed to give us all the opportunity to help rebuild the city and its surroundings. Your connection to LSU sporting events is the Tiger Ticket Office, located in the main lobby of the Athletic Administration Building. Advanced ticket sales to all events are available from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, on both a season and single game basis. For complete seating and price information, call the LSU Ticket Office at 225-578-2184 or toll free 1-800-960-8587 and see the Tigers in action whenever you can.
My bank's free checking is free if you have direct deposit and a really big balance. I want to have free checking that's really free, even if I don't have direct deposit.
All we can do is take your money.
There is a bank where checking really is free. At Hibernia, our free checking comes with free online banking with no direct deposit required. To find out more, call 1-888-755-BANK or visit any Hibernia banking office. If you've been impacted by the recent hurricanes, we're here to help with your financial needs.
LSU Athletics and LSU Sports Properties would like to thank the following corporate partners: Verizon Wireless, Chase Bank, Coca-Cola, McDonald's, UPS, and Our Lady of the Lake.
Back in Starkville, Mississippi, as the fourth-ranked Tigers of LSU have roared back with 17 unanswered points to take a 10-point halftime advantage. This halftime report is brought to you by Hibernia Bank, where service matters. Hello, everyone. Doug Ringard, along with a familiar face, the man who used to run the LSU baseball program, now the LSU athletic director, Skip Bertman. And Skip, glad to have you along here at halftime. What do you think of the first half so far?
Well, I think the boys did reasonably well. Obviously, there's probably too many mistakes the coach isn't happy with, and we'll have to correct that for the second half. Mississippi State's a very formidable ball club.
It has been a very crazy year in amongst the LSU family in Baton Rouge, and certainly the city has had to take on a lot of challenges, as well as the various athletic programs. Talk about how the relief efforts have gone in Baton Rouge and how it's affected the LSU program.
Well, I'm really proud of Baton Rouge. For the first 4 or 5 days before the federal government came, the PMAC was the evacuation center turned hospital turned triage. And it was run by Baton Rouge doctors, by Baton Rouge people, by students, student athletes. They just did a great job. Pharmacists, every local person did a great job. And I'm really proud of the student body, the faculty, the staff, all of our facilities, and even some student athletes did a great job.
It has been a crazy year, also from the football team standpoint, because you had the opening game, which was postponed. That's been rescheduled for later on in the season, but also the opening game played on the road, and it's just really caused a lot of challenges, including the UT game, which had to be played on the Monday night.
Right. I guess there could be a long shot to assume we play the first game on the road that should have been at home, and then play the first ever Monday night game in the history of LSU football. But the football team has responded well. The coaches responded well. There's some normalcy has to come back, and that's hard. Baton Rouge has twice the population. Everybody's been affected by these tragic storms, and it's been very, very difficult. And this is the time when the outcome of the football game isn't as important as it once was, probably.
So much talk during the offseason about the new Tiger Stadium renovations. How is everything coming along with that?
Pretty good. We had a pretty good grand opening with our West Side Club section. Proud of the Tiger Athletic Foundation, did a real good job. Got it going. It'll get better every week, and it'll be completed probably in March or April. The football operations center is about ready for the coaches. It's really a nice place. Mike, the Tiger Habitat's completed. And the Pete Maravich Assembly Center will be completed at the end of October. I'm very proud of those additions.
It's incredible what's going on in Baton Rouge athletically. Any other things we should know about that are taking place within the athletic department? Because it just seems like so much is going on with the Athletic Foundation and otherwise.
Well, I am proud. I want to mention the soccer team had the largest crowd in LSU history and was at 1,700 yesterday. And today they're going against Mississippi State. That's a great start. The volleyball teams are the best start they've had since the early 90s. And I'm very proud of Fran and her girls. And, of course, our indoor track team won't be able to use the indoor track because that portion is still being used in the recovery effort. But Dennis Shaver and his boys have been outstanding as well. So it's been a great fall so far, and I hope that we're fortunate enough to win today and win a few more football games and everybody stays healthy.
And how about baseball? You miss being at the helm of the baseball program. You got a great kicker and punter down here, Chris Jackson, who was all SEC freshman last year.
Right. He's a great athlete. Nice boy.
Yeah.
I miss the young kids face to face. Boy, you miss kids. They're wonderful. I miss the close game in the 7th inning of a 9-inning game. I really enjoyed that. But I don't miss the recruiting. I don't miss the traveling on Thursday, coming back Sunday night, and some other things. Being the athletic director gives me a chance to, reach out more to the university and the community, and I'm enjoying the challenge. It's much harder than coaching, where you have to do a lot more things. But I have a great staff, some wonderful people, and I'm very proud of them. They've done some great things.
LSU Athletic Director Skip Erdman, thanks for joining us here on Tiger Vision. Always good to see your happy, smiling face, and good to know that things are all well in Tigertown.
Thank you very much.
All right, Skip Erdman, our guest here at halftime, presented by Hibernia Bank, where service matters. The Tigers up by 10, back with more after this network break.
Persistence. It's what kept Hibernia Bank in business for over 135 years. Through wars, depressions, hurricanes, and floods, persistence is also a trademark of the customers we serve. Though the events of the last month have impacted all of us, we'll pull together to restore our lives and the communities we call home. As one of the region's largest banks, Hibernia is doing our part to make sure our neighbors and visitors get the help they need, whether it's providing financial support that allows them to move forward or just a simple smile to help them get through a rough day. Because when you've been around for 135 years, as we have, you don't just view yourself as a bank, but as a neighbor who responds when there's trouble in the neighborhood. Call 1-888-855-BANK, which is 2265, or visit Hibernia.com to find a Hibernia location near you and to learn more about what we're doing to help. Hibernia National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
My bank's free checking is free if you have direct deposit and a really big balance. I want to have free checking that's really free, even if I don't have direct deposit.
All we can do is take your money.
There is a bank where checking really is free. At Hibernia, our free checking comes with free online banking with no direct deposit required. To find out more, call 1-888-755-BANK or visit any Hibernia banking office. If you've been impacted by the recent hurricanes, we're here to help with your financial needs.
It's halftime in Starkville, and the 4th-ranked Tigers of LSU leading 17-7 over the Bulldogs of Mississippi State. And want to remind you, it is time to Rejazz New Orleans. Rejazz New Orleans, a nonprofit organization sponsored by Hibernia Bank and dedicated to post-hurricane rebuilding. Visit www.rejazzneworleans.org to order your own Mardi Gras beads memento. That's rejazzneworleans.org. Welcome back. Doug Ringard along with Renee Nato. Interesting game so far, Renee, as the Tigers, as we've mentioned, playing their second game in a span of just 6 days for the first time in 32 years. They started very sluggishly, giving up a big play right off the bat, but they have responded with 17 unanswered points and now lead by 10 at the half.
They came roaring back and really showed some identity on offense. Jamarcus Russell's completed over 90% of his tosses, and he's tossed it around. Early Doucette with 4 grabs, Skylar Green, Dwayne Bowe with a touchdown catch, and Joseph Adai, very solid running the ball.
Certainly has. One thing we talked to Skip Bertman about is the hurricane relief that has been so pivotal in Baton Rouge and in the surrounding area. Here's more on hurricane relief that's taken place in and around the LSU campus.
Turn it to your right a little bit. Everyone wanted to give. Everyone wanted to have the opportunity to do something, and we just kind of found a way for it to happen. So.
With the weekend off, some Tiger football players rallied the troops. Senior leaders Andrew Whitworth and Kyle Williams spearheading an effort amongst athletes to gather clothing, bedding, and toys that would be donated to New Orleans evacuees here in local area shelters.
And I know I have more clothes than I can wear and that I don't wear half the time. So we just started throwing things together, clothes, bedding, and before you knew it, I mean, we put the call out to the team one afternoon, and by the next afternoon, this trailer was full. So that's a big feat for a lot of guys. It's an 18-foot covered trailer, and it was full to the top, so it's something to be proud of.
You know, it's a great feeling. You know, I have a lot of friends that are from the New Orleans area, a lot of which are homeless now. Just as long as we can do anything, even if it wasn't giving stuff, even just visiting with somebody, if that's what we can do, we would have done it. But actually, we raised a lot of stuff and feel good about it.
My unicorn's going off.
Yeah, this is just, the smallest thing we could do, is to do everything we can to help them out and support them back. So, it was huge for us to get this opportunity, and we thought about it the other day and said, yeah, this is an opportunity for us to give back and not to think of ourselves, and, that's what we did, and it really makes us proud to be a part of this team and a part of this community.
While the Tigers are doing great things with their collection efforts, they say the best thing they could do for this state right now is to probably just keep playing games on Saturday night.
Funny thing about it, just about all the people I've spoken to who are actually in New Orleans and the storm victims, that's all they talk about. That's the first question, when are y'all going to play? So I think that's definitely a spirit builder for them, a motivator for us, just to go out there and make Louisiana happy.
Everybody we talk to is excited for football to start. We're ready to go. Like I said, I hope we can, we've been out there working hard, trying to be the best football team we can, where we can bring some pride back to Louisiana, because we know a lot of people in this state rest a lot of things on us, and especially now that they're going to look to us, and hopefully we can energize the state and give some people some things to be excited about in this horrible time right now. So we're excited, and I think everybody on the team is up for the challenge.
For Inside LSU Football, I'm Michael Cobble.
17-7 at halftime. The Tigers of LSU with the upper hand, and we want to remind everyone about that rejazzneworleans.com. Here are those handsome beads, and I'll tell you, Renee Nato, you have never looked sportier than wearing those beads. rejazzneworleans.org is the website to go to, and as we say, the proceeds go to help New Orleans in its rebuilding process, all through Hibernia National Bank.
For a great cause, and something so many people have stepped up, including the LSU family, to help out in this relief, and this is just another great idea.
I'm going to throw you something, mister. Here you go. You can have another set. I'm going to give those to you.
I hope it's not the last pair I catch this year, Doug.
I hope not as well. Well, it's been an interesting game. As we say, the Tigers roaring back from a 17-0 deficit to take the 10-point halftime lead. And really, for MSU, their offense has been pretty on again and off again, but certainly a huge loss for them, at least in the immediate sense, has been Jarius Norwood, their outstanding running back, as we kind of take a look at the play where he got his cage rattled.
And Kenny Hollis collaborated with Jesse Daniels, and wow, what a collision! And that put him out, gave him a head injury, and we hope it's not a concussion. It's not. I hope it's a serious injury, because if he does not return, they lose a large portion of their ground attack, and what a weapon that Mississippi State has.
Certainly do. A young man who has rushed for 100 yards or more in 9 games during his MSU career, and is climbing the charts, currently in 5th place all-time on MSU's all-time rushing list. Well, the Tigers certainly, after that slow start, the offense really, Renee, started to generate some offense, started moving the ball downfield, and really started hit full cylinders as they had an opportunity to show some of that great speed that the offense has, and it was on perfect display.
Really was. Xavier Carter with that scamper, 36 yards around the right end with a touchdown. And of course, Jamarcus Russell finding Dwayne Bowe with his second touchdown toss of the season. He's spreading it around. Early Doucette, Skylar Green, Dwayne Bowe. Buster Davis hasn't gotten into the mix yet, but we feel like he may before it's over. Joseph Adai has also been a great weapon. Also credit the offensive line with giving Jamarcus Russell with a lot of time throughout most of the first half.
And you say Russell has played an outstanding first half, especially after bouncing back against that disappointing second half against the UT Volunteers on Monday night. Some other scores from around the country. It is second-ranked Texas taking it to Missouri. That one a final 51-20. Third-ranked Virginia Tech continues to roll as they dispatch West Virginia 34-17. And, of course, our scores presented by Hibernia Bank, where service matters. Some other scores, 17th-ranked Wisconsin, a winner over Indiana, 41-24. 19th-ranked Virginia, coming up on the short end in the fourth quarter against Maryland. They trailed by 12. 24th-ranked Louisville taking it to Florida Atlantic as they lead by 51. Oh, that one now a final. And in the SEC, it is the 10th-ranked Vols of UT, a 27-10 winner over the Rebels of Ole Miss. Elsewhere around the country, 21st-ranked Boston College, 38-0 over Ball State. And, of course, the top-ranked USC Trojans in a Pac-10 showdown against 14th-ranked Arizona State. No score in the first quarter. Elsewhere in the SEC, 15th-ranked Alabama pitching a shutout against number 5 Florida, 17-0. Florida will take on Mississippi State next week. Still first quarter, Florida State and Syracuse, no score. Well, we've got a second half ahead of us as the Tigers lead it 17-7, and certainly trying to bounce back and get their first SEC win of the year. Mississippi State has not defeated an SEC West opponent, Renee, in the last 16 tries, so they're a hungry team, but as far as we know, without their top running back.
Well, we'll see how LSU responds. That fourth quarter, a good one against Arizona State, not so, played very poorly against Tennessee. We'll see how the second half unfolds as the teams come back for the beginning of the third quarter.
Xavier Carter and company making a run for the end zone as the Tigers lead it 17-7. We'll be back with statistics and second half action after this local break. Tiger Vision brought to you by Hibernia National Bank.
Hey guys, are you between 18 and 55 and might be a little overweight? Well, the Pennington Center is doing an 18-week medication study on body fat and cholesterol levels. You will receive $1,800 at the completion of this study for your time and travel. So if you're a male between 18 and 55, a non-smoker, not taking any prescribed medications, and could use $1,800, you need to call our recruiters at 706-1004. That's 706-1004. Call today.
If you're a Blue Cross customer affected by Hurricanes Rita or Katrina, this message is for you. We want to help you get the health care you need when you need it. That's why we're granting a grace period for premium payments, providing access to all doctors and hospitals for covered medical services, and making it easy to get your prescriptions filled wherever you are. For more information, please call us at 1-800-599-BLUE. All of our 1,400 employees here in Louisiana are here to help you.
And you might say someone's dogs are barking. The Bulldogs trailing by 10, LSU up 17-7 at the half on this Tiger Vision broadcast presented by Hibernia Bank, where service matters. Take a look at some first half highlights for the Tigers, who saw the Bulldogs jump out in front in lickety-split time, Renee.
And this is Omar Connor connecting with Joey Sanders for the opening score. Connor caught LSU flat-footed and burned the defense for a score. Again, another look at it right here as he was unattended, and the closest one was Cameron Vaughn. Good closing speed, just ran out of field. And Jamarcus Russell, he had a great game. One sack here with Willie Evans. And the second one here, this was Andrew Powell, big 6', 300-pounder. jump on him for another sack.
But then 17 unanswered points by LSU.
And Xavier Carter, look who's in front of him, Jamarcus Russell. Down Nate Livings as well. Xavier Carter scoots up the sidelines for his first running touchdown. And Jamarcus Russell finds Dwayne Bowe in the corner of the end zone. Great throw. Jamarcus' second touchdown toss of the season.
And then the defense rises to the occasion. Ronnie Prude.
And trying to throw a pass to Keon Humphreys, and Ronnie Prude steals it away. An interception by the Tigers saved sure points for Mississippi State.
And you see the numbers. More than half of those offensive yards for Mississippi State came on that opening touchdown of 67 yards. They have not been able to establish the running game. Tigers done a great job defensively there. First downs 10-8. Third downs a much improved percentage by LSU, and we did have some penalties in the first quarter, but they seemed to get things together, and we had a pretty smooth second quarter.
Well, two teams that are penalized pretty often here in the SEC. In fact, LSU is penalized coming into this game 22 occasions, and Mississippi State on 30 occasions before this game began, and LSU will receive the ball. Skylar Green and Joseph Adai. We'll see how LSU opens the second half. Again, Doug, they do script. Jimbo Fisher scripts the first 14-15 plays. They do script the next second half, third quarter, depending on what adjustments and what they feel will work from the first half.
Keith Andrews, the junior, will kick off for the Bulldogs to start the second half. Skylar Green and Joseph Adai stand at the LSU end zone ready for the return. And about 5 deep, Green will take the knee and a touchback, and the Tigers will begin the second half on their own 20-yard line.
We'll see how Jamarcus Russell begins the second half. LSU kind of started the game in a running mode, and of course he's had so much success passing the ball. We'll see if his confidence level.
You can't get a much better first half, Renee, than Jamarcus Russell. 14 of 17 for 125, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. He has really bounced back well. Adai is behind Russell, and he'll throw on first down. Green in the flat, dips back to the inside, or dips back in across the 20 to about the 25-yard line for a gain of 5.
And once again, getting it to him in space. Skylar Green can jitterbug. You want to get him in an isolated situation with a defensive back, and that's when he's most dangerous.
By the way, dubs is a combination of ducks and dips, in case you ever want to use that on a future broadcast.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, we've got to keep it out of mind.
88% of Jamarcus Russell's tosses complete this game. Wow.
Can't beat that. On 2nd and 5, Adai, and he has the first, and eluding another tackler makes his way across the 40 to the 41-yard line. Adai with a gain of 16.
Again, yards after contact, refused to go down. Just unbelievable. His pad level, he's so low, got good balance. The pros can't wait to get a look at him. Good blocking on the left side. Kevin Steltz, good block. Good seal right there by Will Arnold, number 73. And Joseph Adai is the money back for the LSU Fighting Tigers. And wow, as he goes, so do the Tigers.
10 carries, 40 yards for Adai so far. 1st and 10. Tigers at their own 41-yard line. Again, into the flat. Adai spins, still on his feet and taken down at the 38-yard line. That'll go for a loss of about 2. As up to make the defensive play for Mississippi State is Keith Fitzhugh.
Real good, and this is great pursuit on the form of Mississippi State. This tackle right there by Dockery. And Fitzhugh, a freshman, came up from his cornerback position, and boy, he is going to be a great one. Had a chance to go to Southern Cal, Auburn, Tennessee, LSU, Florida, Notre Dame, and Fitzhugh decided to come with State, and he's going to be a great one.
5 true freshmen, including Fitzhugh, who are seeing plenty of action here for Mississippi State. Adai across midfield has the first and into Bulldog territory. He is really carrying the weight right now for LSU.
Andrew Whitworth pulls from his left tackle position and traps, and they say it's close to a first down. He's got it. But Andrew Whitworth, LSU pulls those linemen on the runs, and Andrew Whitworth, being a former tight end out of Western Monroe, did a great job of trapping and sealing the inside, allowing Joseph Adai to find a hole and scoot up for a nice yardage. Also credit the interior line, Will Arnold and company. with great blocking up front. As Ryan Miller is still at center as Rudy Nicewanger has not returned.
Haven't heard much from LSU receiver Buster Davis, who's made catches in 14 straight games. Russell has all day, and now he's taken down at midfield as he had nowhere to go, nowhere to throw, and again, another sack coverage as the big guy, number 94, Andrew Powell, the 6', 300-pound junior, came up and got the sack.
He has good protection. It finally breaks down. This is coverage. He has nowhere to go. You see, Willie Evans is kept in check, number 36. Cannot get to him. Joseph Vadai with the check. Good sidestep. But this is when he has to make a good decision and throw the ball away.
And you can see
throw the ball away.
Read the lips. Throw the ball. Throw the ball. And that's one area that Russell does need to make some better on-field decisions. We saw that at the end of the first half against UT as well. Pass is complete and wrapped up at about the 47-yard line is Early Doucet.
Making that tackle is Quentin Culberson. He's a middle linebacker, started as a true freshman as a cornerback, and we said 4.5 speed, big playmaker, anticipates, as smart as you're going to get as a defensive player, and he was a parade All-American coming out of Mississippi. Boy, he is he was a freshman All-SEC player. And
then had a broken leg in 2003 and has moved on to the middle linebacker position and put on some weight as he stands 6', 222. Third and long for Russell and the Tigers, and MSU showing blitz. Russell unloads it wide open. Is Skylar Green has the first down, and he's run out of bounds at the 35-yard line of MSU. Green has really had his hands on the ball a lot here today.
I don't know if you can appreciate the tough throw that Jamarcus Russell just made. They were bearing down on him. He's rolling to his left, does not have opportunity to step into his throw, made a tough out throw to Skylar Green for the first down. Not a lot of quarterbacks in the SEC could make the throw that he just made. A really, really tough, just a flip of the wrist. First down, Skylar Green.
Green with his 7th reception of the game. First and 10 for LSU, and a jump on MSU's side. A die with penalty flags on the field, and that will most likely be offside Bulldogs. There you see Sylvester Croom, 5-10 overall in his second season, the native of Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and of course had that huge win last year.
Offsides, defense, penalties 5 yards, it's on number 90, 5 yards, still first down.
As the Bulldogs defeated the University of Florida, Sylvester Croom with an outstanding playing career as well. Back in 1975, he was a free agent signee with which NFL team?
New Orleans Saints. And I'm going to tell you, Wimp Hughley, who was the offensive line coach at the time, said that was the toughest cut. And he, looking back, he told me at the time he wishes he could have kept Sylvester Croom. He deserved to be in the NFL.
He was an assistant under the legendary Paul Bear Bryant at Alabama. A die, straight ahead, and just short of first down yardage, and another penalty flag on the play. Well, Renee, you talked last year.
Offsides against the defense, number 58, 5-yard penalty. Penalty results in a first down.
Second offside penalty by MSU on this drive alone. But
this will really make a coach lose his hair. I mean, the fact that you're giving first downs to the opponent. Sylvester Croom, he's working with a lot of freshmen and sophomores, especially on defense, Doug, and I know they're going to become winners. He told the freshmen coming in this year, you will be playing for an SEC title and a national championship before you leave here.
It is a first down by penalty for LSU. Chiron Carey gets his first touch. Carey near first down territory after a gain of 9 as he makes his way down to the 11-yard line. And Chiron Carey, one of 4 LSU Tigers who already have their undergraduate degree this year.
And a short graduate out of the West Bank of New Orleans, 16 totes, 66 yards, over 4 yards per carry. And boy, he's a little water bug. He's got a little jello in his boots as he wiggles and scoots through the defense, and boy, you can't get a shot at him, and surprisingly very strong. He's a 425-pound bench press, so although he's 5'6", 200 pounds, he's very powerful low to the ground.
Shortest running back in LSU history. And Carey once again with the carry as he looks to have the first down and maybe a yard more as the Tigers getting deeper into Bulldog territory, already leading 17-7 here. 9:19 to go, third quarter.
And the offensive line is just taking control, and that's where you win and lose your games, as they're taking over the pit, if you will, and controlling the defensive line of Mississippi State, allowing Chiron Carey running lanes and scoot into the secondary. You want to get Chiron into the second level. That's where he does most of the damage, one-on-one with the defensive backs and linebackers.
10th play of LSU's drive as they continue to keep the clock rolling. Carey, and he is quick as he pops to the outside, inside the 10, down to about the 7-yard line. And Chiron Carey, one of the top prospects in Louisiana back in 1999. We worked a high school game, several of them, and I tell you, I have never seen anybody who was quicker and more athletic and talented than Chiron Carey.
I like to say he's like a ping pong ball in a bathtub, Doug, and he bounces all over the place.
I knew that was coming.
But he's very powerful, low to the ground, can't get a shot at him, and surprisingly, he was Mr. Bitty Basketball as a youth. As small as he was, a great basketball player.
Hester and Adai in the backfield. It's Adai on the carry. Has room to the 5 and inside the 5 down to about the 4, where he brings with him Gabe O'Neill, the linebacker, 6 foot, 213 pounds, sophomore out of Columbus, Mississippi. I'll tell you, Adai is a good-sized guy, and he gets going north and south. He's a tough guy to stop from just one defender.
He's got great pad level, and he's what they say running downhill in a very short distance. He attacks and takes it to the defensive back. He's also a 425-pound bench guy, but great lower body balance and strength, and he can change direction quickly. First down, Tigers.
First down, goal to go. And we talk about Adai, fifth-year senior out of Sharpstown High School in Houston. And certainly the Tigers have done a great job recruiting out of that area, as well as New Orleans and all parts in between and beyond.
You know, he was a good option quarterback. Look at this.
LSU notching a considerable number of yards on this drive, 106 to 38 for MSU. First and goal to go for LSU, leading by 10. And the give is to Adai. Adai close to the end zone, and it looks like he'll make it down to about the 1 or the 2. And Adai getting the bulk of the action here. Great short yardage guy, Adai is as well. And it's neat to see how the Tigers are using different running backs for different situations. Adai getting a little bit of a breather, and they certainly can afford to do that with the great stable of running backs.
And they're running behind Will Arnold and company, and the offensive line again, great surge up front.
This Tiger Vision broadcast presented by Hibernia Bank, where service matters. Doug Greengard along with my good friend Renee Nato as the Tigers now knocking on the door, trying to go up by 17. Straight ahead, and it is touchdown Tigers. LSU. And the Tigers make it a 23-7 game as Jacob Hester does the honors. And the Tigers now with 23 unanswered points.
Jacob Hester with his first touchdown as a Tiger. You see him running right behind a vacation, nice hole there, a vacated spot by Will Arnold as he pulled the defensive line with him.
Holt David with the PAT, and that one will not go. He hits the crossbar. And so the PAT is missed. Well, the Tigers do get the 6th, but they miss the 7th. They lead it 23-7. And we'll be back with more Tiger Vision after this local break.
Louisiana, we've been tried and tested. With our big hearts in these tough times, we will make it through.
Rise up, let your colors shine true. Celebrate the good things they're all around in this town. Stand up and let your colors shine through. We are Louisiana true.
To our valued customers and friends, the well-being of your family is of great concern.
At U.S. Agencies, we are here for you.
Our claims team is standing by to assist you. If you've been displaced by this disaster or have other auto insurance needs, walk into one of our many neighborhood offices. Contact the U.S. Post Office if you have a new forwarding address. Or call us at 1-800-958-8545.
At U.S. Agencies, we are here for you.
Home entertainment by Kadare's. Kadare's. The choice is clear.
"23 unanswered points as the Tigers of LSU, fourth ranked in the country, now lead by 16. Tiger fans, follow all the action on the internet this season in the Go Zone, the newest feature of LSUsports.net. Get enhanced LSU game day coverage, picks from hundreds of hours of video archives, and don't miss a minute of live online action only in the Go Zone. Visit LSUsports.net to subscribe. LSU kicking off, and on the return, that is Derek Pegues, and Pegues just seeing a lot of LSU gold and their white road uniforms on the special teams tackle, Karan Gordon.
Also, you want to credit Derry Beckwith and Stephen Court, former Saint. A scoring drive, 13 plays, 80 yards, 8 minutes and 2 seconds off the clock. That was great.
As Hester gets the touchdown, his first of his career. So the Bulldogs pinned down to their own 15 and trailing to an LSU team that has come to life here on this Saturday in Starkville, Mississippi.
You know, Chase Pittman on the last stop, Doug. And the thing you have to like about Chase Pittman, he makes the shortest route to the ball, no false steps, great anticipation and technique, and he played a little tight end up at Evangel High School. He's got another year to play here with the Tigers, and he's really been a great addition.
A gain of 1 on the play, 2nd and 9. Connor under pressure, and he is going to be dropped at the 11-yard line. Melvin Oliver, the senior from Opelika High School in Alabama, gets his 12th career sack.
And he had a half a sack coming into this contest and really done a great job. I liken his skills to Chuck Wiley or Kenny Mixon, who once played for the Tigers, went on to the NFL. He has a career in the NFL. He kind of took off the last portion of last year, but kind of got a fire lit under him for the 2005 season, and he can be a great one.
And here's another look. Connor had some time initially, but that LSU push has been mighty.
And you can see Melvin Oliver beat Avery House on a pass rush and really just sacked Omar Connor. It took him, really just did a great job disrupting that play.
3rd and long, and more pressure, but Connor escapes. Tries to throw across, almost intercepted. A tough throw, and Jesse Daniels almost had the interception. My, oh my.
And the receivers were well covered by the white jerseys, and that's something Omar Connor, a bad throw, throwing across the bow, across the field, just gets flushed out right here, stays on his feet, being chased by Chase Pittman, and just goes across the field for Eric Butler, but he's lucky to get away with that one.
And you saw on the back of the helmets also the Tigers wearing fleur-de-lis to recognize Hurricane Katrina victims in New Orleans, and also one for a 3-state area that was affected by the hurricanes, as Skylar Green takes that one on the 37 and still on his feet, and he is taken down at the 41-yard line. Good second effort by Green, but the Bulldogs certainly have done a great job containing Skylar Green so far today. The Tigers leading 23-7. Back with more on this Tiger Vision broadcast brought to you by Hibernia Bank after this network break.
It's time to re-jazz New Orleans. New Orleans and the surrounding area is a national treasure and needs to be rebuilt. Re-Jazz New Orleans is a nonprofit organization dedicated to rebuilding schools, neighborhoods, and cultural venues destroyed by the hurricane. Visit www.rejazzneworleans.org to order your own Mardi Gras beads memento. The beads include a medallion acknowledging the hurricane and commemorating New Orleans. Working together, let's put the Jazz back in the New Orleans region. The nonprofit organization sponsored by Hibernia Bank has been formed to give us all the opportunity to help rebuild the city and its surroundings.
My bank's free checking is free if you have direct deposit and a really big balance. I want to have free checking that's really free, even if I don't have direct deposit.
All we can do is take your money.
There is a bank where checking really is free. At Hibernia, our free checking comes with free online banking with no direct deposit required. To find out more, call 1-888-755-BANK or visit any Hibernia banking office. If you've been impacted by the recent hurricanes, we're here to help with your financial needs.
LSU, 23 unanswered points, leading this one with 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. And the Tigers once again with the football as they take over at their own 41. Joseph Adai, who's seen the bulk of the action today, a nice pickup as he's run out of bounds right near midfield, and he certainly has been doing that today, and especially, Renee, on the last drive.
A key component of this last drive that consumed 8 minutes off the clock, and again, a lot of yards after contact. One pass hit of Skylar Green was a vital part. A very tough throw kept the drive alive. Joseph Adai here coming back. Good block right there off for Snells and company. And the handoff to Jacob Hester. First touchdown as a Tiger.
And that brings us to where we are, 23-7. The Tigers have successfully gotten the ball back. They need to get to the 48-yard line of MSU. Green, a popular play, the catch and the first, and he is run out of bounds on the far sideline. Over there to make the play, Gabe O'Neill, the linebacker out of Columbus, Mississippi. And Skyler has really had a lot of touches today, Renee.
Yeah, again, and get him out in space. Of course, he does have to expand his game beyond 10 yards. They did throw him once down towards the end zone earlier. Was incomplete, but he is tough. He's a little jitterbug, and get him out in space. He will be a great receiver and kick return specialist in the NFL.
You see the time of possession. Wow. Skylar Green, 7 catches, 46 yards. His career high is 9 grabs. Russell to an open Bow. Bow spins at the 20. He'll take it in for the score. Dwayne Bowe with his second touchdown of the day, and when the rain has now begun to fall, Bowe with the touchdown to put the Tigers up 29-7 on a 44-yard touchdown play.
And that touchdown, maybe the rains on the parade of the Mississippi State Bulldogs, as Jamarcus Russell, his third touchdown toss of the campaign. Dwayne Bowe, just a spin move, too strong to take down with an arm tackle into the end zone. His second touchdown catch of the game.
And certainly the longest of the year for Bowe. As David on with the PAT after missing the last, he gets that one, and we've got ourselves a 30-7 lead for LSU. Dwayne Bowe doing the honors. Watch the move back to the inside as the Tigers are taking it to the house against the Bulldogs of Mississippi. Back with more on Tiger Vision after this network break.
Persistence. It's what kept Hibernia Bank in business for over 135 years. Through wars, depressions, hurricanes, and floods, persistence is also a trademark of the customers we serve. Though the events of the last month have impacted all of us, we'll pull together to restore our lives and the communities we call home. As one of the region's largest banks, Hibernia is doing our part to make sure our neighbors and visitors get the help they need, whether it's providing financial support that allows them to move forward or just a simple smile to help them get through a rough day. Because when you've been around for 135 years, as we have, you don't just view yourself as a bank, but as a neighbor who responds when there's trouble in the neighborhood. Call 1-888-855-BANK, which is 2265. Or visit Hibernia.com to find a Hibernia location near you and to learn more about what we're doing to help. Hibernia National Bank, member FDIC, Equal housing lender.
Peter Chen is developing cybersecurity methods to help track terrorists and other criminals.
Nathan Call is discovering innovative new ways to teach autistic children.
Nina Lamb combines technology and geography to study problems ranging from cancer to AIDS.
Erno Sejo is finding ways to protect humans from inhaled threats like anthrax or SARS.
Jorge Aravena and Kim and Joe are developing computer systems for safer airplanes.
Dwayne Bowe with his second touchdown reception of the day, a 44-yard thing of beauty as the Tigers now have scored 30 unanswered points to take a commanding lead here late in the third quarter. It's time to Rejazz New Orleans. Rejazz New Orleans, a nonprofit organization sponsored by Hibernia Bank and dedicated to post-hurricane rebuilding. Visit www.rejazzneworleans.org to order your own Mardi Gras beads memento. That's rejazzneworleans.org. And the kickoff taken at his own 2-yard line. Pegues, as he bumps to the outside just a bit and is run out of bounds just outside the 20-yard line. Another look at the touchdown play by Dwayne Bowe, and it just doesn't get any prettier than this, Renee.
He gained almost 15 pounds in the offseason, a lot of strength to break arm tackles such as this. Great balance into the end zone, and the Norland High School out of Miami, Florida is very proud as he bows down to the Tiger faithful. His second touchdown of the game, his second of the season.
Rain is coming down here in Starkville, putting a damper on things, and as LSU has put the damper on Mississippi State's hopes of snapping a 16-game losing streak to SEC foes. Daniels in pursuit of Connor, who has to throw it out of bounds. And Connor wisely unloading as Jesse Daniels even stopped for a minute there. Did you notice? I guess he kind of was caught off guard that he had such a clear path to get to Omar Connor.
Well, in case he ran, he wanted to break down. That was smart play on defensively from Jesse Daniels. I'll be a little surprised, Doug, with the 23-point cushion that the Tigers have, that you won't see a second quarterback enter the game before the game is over. And Mississippi State, 2nd and 10. And this is they find themselves in problems that they have to work each and every series.
The give is to Jonathan Lowe, and Lowe not much room to run as he is stuffed down there by the Tiger contingent, amongst others, Cameron Vaughn. Tune in to your local radio dial to get your first chance to talk with LSU the day after the game on LSU Sunday Night Live, presented by Nissan. Talk about the game each Sunday with host Jordy Holtberg, locally in Baton Rouge on 107.3 FM and statewide on the LSU Sports Radio Network from 6 until 7 p.m. Third and just about 10 for Connor and the Bulldogs as he's pressured and dropped at the 18-yard line. Melvin Oliver with his second sack of the game.
Melvin Oliver, he really caught fire, and he's been just impossible to block for the Mississippi State offensive line. Again, he beats Avery House on the outside move and really comes on aside. Make that Collins did a great job, and that's a freshman he beat, Calvin Wilson. And Melvin Oliver, he's seen it all. Senior, he'll have a future, an opportunity in the NFL.
Penalty flag on the play, and it was a late hit.
Fourth down.
It was a late hit on the Bulldogs.
LSU defensively, Doug, that time had a nickel package, but they installed Jesse Daniels as a linebacker and kind of the spy, if you will, on Omar Connor and make sure that underneath keep any short yardage to a minimum.
Good look at Melvin Oliver and Claude Roten, two of those seniors on that defensive line, much heralded defensive line for LSU.
LSU the Tigers should get great field position out of this kick, barring some unforeseen.
As Bryson, check that, Blake McAdams, the freshman, punts for the fourth time and stands halfway into his own end zone. And he can't handle the snap, and this one almost blocked as he barely gets it off. Green will let it roll, and this one will come to about the 49-yard line of MSU. There are penalty flags on the field, and McAdams just couldn't find the handle on that one. Obviously, there's some rain coming down. Here's another. It's a little bit of a high snap, Renee, but certainly one that was catchable.
Wow, he's lucky got that one away with the time he had. there was not much of a rush, and they actually came out pretty well if this play stands.
As the officials talk things over, that group headed by Rocky Good, the referee. Obviously, this is against LSU because MSU is getting a chance to make a decision.
It may not give him a first down. That's what the discussion is about, obviously.
Holding number 9 on defense. The hold was behind the line. Therefore, 10-yard penalty. Still down.
So it'll be a repunt situation for Blake McAdams, but it won't be standing halfway into his own end zone. It'll be at about the 3-yard line.
Yes, and like I said, that had to be the discussion, the fact that it was not going to automatically give LSU a first down on that play. So they just want to see if you want to let the play stand or try it again. And all things considered with the weather, sometimes you come out better if you just let the play stand. Now he has to kick it away with a wet ball, and we'll see. LSU was pushed back to near the 50-yard line. We'll see if there's any positive yardage gained by Skylar Green with the repunt.
And Green needed just 38 yards coming into this game to move into 4th place on LSU's all-time punt return list. As we say, he is averaging about 18 yards per punt return coming into this game. You just feel like this could be the one that he breaks if he gets the opportunity.
We'll see if this decision comes back to bite the Bulldogs.
He takes it at his own 42. Green down to about the 20-yard line, and a big return for the Tigers and Green. LSU coming into this game number 1 in the nation in punt returns, averaging almost 22 yards per.
And that's what I said. Sometimes it's better to just let it lay. You give Skylar Green another opportunity. He cuts through the lane. Good blocking by the Tigers. Craig Stelz and company right here. Jeffrey Jack, number 32, not blocking, which would have been a block in the back. And Skylar Green returns it up to the 20-yard line. Great field position for the Tiger offense. And Jamarcus Russell does return for the Tigers with 2:36 remaining here in the third quarter. We'll love to see what's happening in the fourth quarter if the Tigers do come away with points.
Skylar Green, 115 all-purpose yards per game, which is 6th best in the SEC. It's time to Rejazz New Orleans. Rejazz New Orleans, a nonprofit organization sponsored by Hibernia Bank and dedicated to post-hurricane rebuilding. Visit www.rejazzneworleans.org to order your own Mardi Gras beads memento. That's rejazzneworleans.org. Timeout down on the field. As you see both coaches, Sylvester Kroom on the left and Les Miles on the right. Kroom certainly has had his hands full here at Mississippi State, a very transitionary type situation where obviously when a new coach comes in, Renee, players decide to either stay or go, and he certainly has seen a little bit of both.
He's laid the law down and lost over 20 players who decided to move on or maybe were dismissed for one reason or another, couldn't adapt to his style. He's in his second year, and I think he is on the right path. He spent 16 years in the NFL with the Packers and offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, coached people like Barry Sanders. He's been around, and he's got a great name in the community. The players respect him. They want to come to Mississippi State. He's taken quite a few recruits, Doug, away from Ole Miss, which haven't happened in a long time.
And he was on that Packers staff in the NFL with Bo Pelini as well, the LSU assistant. That's a die as he gets perhaps a yard on the carry. And I think at this point, Tigers just want to keep the ball on the ground, keep the clock moving, and get out of Starkville with a victory.
Well, they have another quarter to go.
Want to update you on the scores presented by Hibernia Bank, where service matters. Just one from the SEC right now. Alabama taking it to Florida 24-3, as MSU next week will play at Florida. And so certainly we'll be keeping our eyes on action around the SEC. LSU to square off against Vanderbilt as the Commodores play tonight. Against a 5-man defensive front on 2nd and 9. Russell and MSU showing blitz. The give is a dive. Plenty of room to the right as he makes it to the 10. 5 cuts back to the inside and out of bounds at the 1-yard line.
And I think Jamarcus Russell may have made an adjustment, Doug, as you saw Mississippi State move to the right, shift to the right. It opened up the outside, and it was a hesitation. As you can see, the run, they were all loaded to the right side. Joseph Adai, good blocking, Benny Brazil and company, and he just a touchdown-saving tackle near the end zone. Good collision right there, and that is Johnson. Jeremy Johnson. First and goal for the Tigers.
Adai and Stilts. Adai on the carry. He's in for the score. Joseph Adai puts the Tigers up 36-7, and Adai gets yet another touchdown. For Adai, it is his 4th on the year, and that is most in the SEC.
He came into this game second in rushing in the SEC with 193 yards. But boy, I tell you, great body lean, good blocking as Nate Livings and company. Good block there by Whitworth. Good surge. It gives him a little cushion, a cavity to get into the end zone, and extra point upcoming.
As David makes the finishing touches on what is now a 37-7 ball game. You want to watch Coach Miles dissect the game on Inside LSU Football with Les Miles each week on the LSU Sports Television Network. Inside LSU Football with Les Miles airs at 10:35 p.m. on WBRZ Channel 2 in Baton Rouge. Check your local listings for the coverage of the Tigers in your area or visit lsusports.net. Certainly began as a partly cloudy day, and it's become quite gloomy, but not from an LSU Tiger perspective, Renee. They really have, after that slow start, really come to life. They look like the Tigers of old.
Well, you know, I guess you see as today, Russell, 20 out of 23 for 197 yards, a pair of scores, and Joseph Adai fast approaching the 100-yard mark and averaging 5.3, just under 6 yards per tote. He averages for the season, and as you alluded to, Doug, his 4th touchdown run of this season.
Which leads the SEC, and Adai now just 14 yards away from his 3rd career 100-plus game rushing for LSU. The 5th-year senior has certainly been very impressive and really shining. And at a time when the Tigers really needed someone who's not only just a short yardage guy, but someone who can really, as you say, do the north-south type thing, and still great speed, bounce to the outside. He's really a versatile guy who catches the ball equally well.
He's a sub-4-4 guy, believe it or not. He didn't look like it, but he's got a great no-fall steps, always has a good body lean, rarely gets tackled for a loss, and that's great components for a good SEC back.
Pegues takes that one at about the 5-yard line, and he is swarmed over by the LSU special teams defense. Justin Vincent in there to make the stop. And, you know, this is an offensive backfield that is missing one of its key components, really, when you look at the stable of running backs they've had over the last few years.
Jarius Norwood. Oh, you mean LSU. Ali Broussard, yes. 3 touchdowns against Mississippi State last year. He was actually tabbed to be maybe a Heisman hopeful in the top 10 of the country, and goes down with a serious knee injury. He will be back in 2006, but they miss his bullish style, his great attitude, and a great locker room attitude.
Under pressure as Connor unloads, but it was Kyle Williams putting the heat on Omar Connor as Connor forced to throw that one away.
Yeah, and Ali Broussard, you know what a jokester and prankster he is, and they really miss him a lot. Good pressure from Kyle Williams as he splits the blockers and comes straight through the A-gap, and good pressure on Connor forced him to throw prematurely, and incomplete, stops the clock with 2nd down, and 84 ticks to go here in the 3rd.
MSU has been really at its best in the 3rd quarter, where they've scored 35 of their 69 points on the year, and wrapped up at the 8-yard line is Connor as the ball popped loose, but they call it an incomplete pass.
Wow.
Cameron Vaughn in there, as well as Jesse Daniels, Kyle Williams. They just sent the house, didn't they?
Well, Omar Connor, meet Chase Pittman. Bang! Wow, I tell you what, you can hear the wood crack from way up here as Chase Pittman just blindsided Omar Connor and beat the left tackle, Brian Anderson. And Connor is really taking a beating. He's going to be a little sore. He'll be in the ice tomorrow.
Pittman gets his 2nd sack of the year. You see, Connor has he's faced his challenges against LSU as the sun comes out under pressure, almost a safety, but Connor is able to unload the pass. It is complete and up to about the 18-yard line, and it'll still be well short of the first down, but that was Jonathan Lowe as he makes the reception. Boy, that one had safety written all over it.
I tell you, and you got to credit Omar Connor. That is athleticism. He made chicken salad out of this one. Gets pressure right here.
Oh, juggling act.
Wow, and gets it out to Jonathan Lowe. He kept
watch the ball come loose.
The presence of mind as Claude Roten was right on him, and this is a sack, as you're absolutely right, Doug. Had he not gotten rid of it so quickly, good presence of mind, good vision, and just threw it to his safety valve, Jonathan Lowe, for a nice little pickup.
A gain of 9 on the play, but it'll force the busiest punter in the SEC to kick it away, and he'll do that as we begin the fourth quarter. We've come to the end of 3 quarters in Starkville, Mississippi, and the LSU Tigers have scored 37 unanswered points, and we'll be back with more of this Tiger Vision broadcast after this network break brought to you by Hibernia Bank.
My bank's free checking is free if you have direct deposit and a really big balance. I want to have free checking that's really free, even if I don't have direct deposit.
All we can do is take your money.
There is a bank where checking really is free. At Hibernia, our free checking comes with free online banking with no direct deposit required. To find out more, call 1-888-755-BANK or visit any Hibernia banking office. If you've been impacted by the recent hurricanes, we're here to help with your financial needs.
It's time to re-jazz New Orleans. New Orleans and the surrounding area is a national treasure and needs to be rebuilt. Re-Jazz New Orleans is a nonprofit organization dedicated to rebuilding schools, neighborhoods, and cultural venues destroyed by the hurricane. Visit www.rejazzneworleans.org to order your own Mardi Gras beads memento. The beads include a medallion acknowledging the hurricane and commemorating New Orleans. Working together, let's put the jazz back in the New Orleans region. The nonprofit organization, sponsored by Hibernia Bank, has been formed to give us all the opportunity to help rebuild the city and its surroundings.
LSU with a commanding 30-point lead as we begin the fourth quarter, where Blake McAdams, the true freshman punter, will get things underway. As he stands at his own 5-yard line, Skylar Green, the outstanding punt return man for LSU, who 2 years ago led the nation in punt returns, was hobbled a bit last year with an ankle injury, never really hit full speed, but certainly we've seen a Skylar Green today who is approaching a career high in receptions and also had a big punt return in the third quarter. And another less than ideal punt, although distance-wise pretty good. Green picks it up at the 33, goes down the left sideline, and is run out of bounds by Jamar Chaney at about the 42-yard line of LSU. Certainly didn't look like a pretty punt, but yardage-wise, it was A-okay.
Well, it was rolling pretty good, and Skylar Green decided to pick it up. He was going to let it roll, but had a little distance and had a little time to pick it up and advanced it maybe 6 or 7 yards forward. And we'll see who comes out, as we will have a new quarterback, as you would anticipate. Looks like Matt Flynn will be out as the signal caller.
As Flynn, a sophomore who battled Russell throughout the spring, young man from Robert E. Lee High School in Tyler, Texas. No statistics. This will be his first game action this year. Last year played in one series in the Capital One Bowl and finished the season 4 for 10, 99 yards, and 1 touchdown. And a penalty flag on Flynn's.
Dead ball, offsides by contact on number 90 on the defense. Penalty's 5 yards and still first down.
What a day for Jamarcus Russell. Near perfection for him as he heads to the sidelines to get some rest and get Matt Flynn some much-needed reps.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if depends on the coaching staff what their thought process is, if may see number 11 parallel before the quarter's over.
That would be a welcome sight for LSU fans who followed his young career through high school. Outstanding young player and a top recruit. Fumble as Carey loses the handle, and the Bulldogs have it at the 45 of LSU.
And LSU's been protecting the ball as they came into this game with 4 fumbles in the last 2 games and put the ball on the ground right here. Just a clean exchange. It didn't look like he really put it away and protected it as Michael Hurd jumped on it for the Bulldogs. And Chiron Carey just had it punched out. Good penetration. Looks like Willie Evans may have punched it out from his defensive end position as he gained penetration in the backfield.
Sometimes when there's a quarterback change, just getting used to different mechanics and different techniques from quarterbacks, that can happen, but this did not look to be the case.
No, it didn't look to be the case. It looked like Willie Evans did strip it, and good play defensively.
New quarterback. Hennig back in at quarterback for the Bulldogs, and he sees nothing but the sky as the sun comes out and the Tiger defense rises to the occasion again. Chase Pittman in on that tackle. Coming your way from Starkville, Mississippi, as the 4th-ranked Tigers of LSU are taking it to the Bulldogs of Mississippi State. 37-7. Doug Greengard along with Renee Nato. Glad to have you along on this Tiger Vision broadcast, and this tells the story. LSU, after a slow start, more than twice as many total offensive yards as the Bulldogs. And Renee, 67 of those total yards for Mississippi State came on the opening touchdown that the Bulldogs scored to take that 7-0 lead, and LSU hasn't looked back ever since, and scoring 37 unanswered.
And they did a great job really coming back and, again, persevering and very resilient after that first play. Really, they took the crowd out very early as LSU came into this game averaging 345 yards per game offensively, so they are right near that mark.
From their own 49, Michael Hennig in relief of Omar Connor, and the give is to Brandon Thornton, and Thornton gets maybe about 3.
Thornton is a guy who's a freshman, 5'10", 195, just a tireless worker. He averaged 7.6 yards per total in high school. He has a great future here, backing up Jerry Norwood.
And we're going to start seeing even more of LSU's too deep as you see Cameron Vaughn and the pressure. Some Tigers, they've just done a great job pressuring the Connor and the quarterbacks today.
You know, all the sacks they got some almost sacks as well as Kyle Williams and Chase Pittman with the sack right there.
And Hennig under pressure dropped again as Roten is there to get yet another sack. And I'll tell you what, this LSU defense has certainly done everything it needs to do and then some.
And Claude Roten can dominate a play. As you see, number 98 flushing the outside. Chase Pittman flushed him, and Claude Roten and Glenn Dorsey just collapsed the pocket, number 72 and 98 respectively.
He just threw the freshman Anthony Dunning just out of the way, and he's 6'3", 322. He just picked him up and went right over the top of him.
Good bull rush by Claude Roten.
The punt by McAdams, and that one taken by Green. Green's got room to run. One man to beat. It's the kicker. He can't get past him. As coming in to make the tackle is McAdams. And Green looked like he was going to break another one. We've been waiting for that, haven't we, Renee?
Boy,
we've been waiting.
It's been a long time since he's run for a touchdown.
37-7, the Tigers have this one in hand. Early 4th quarter, and we'll be back with more from Starkville after this network break.
Your connection to LSU sporting events is the Tiger Ticket Office, located in the main lobby of the Athletic Administration Building. Advanced ticket sales to all events are available from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, on both a season and single game basis. For complete seating and price information, call the LSU Ticket Office at 225-578-2184 or toll free 1-800-960-8587 and see the Tigers in action whenever you can.
Persistence. It's what kept Hibernia Bank in business for over 135 years. Through wars, depressions, hurricanes, and floods, persistence is also a trademark of the customers we serve. Though the events of the last month have impacted all of us, we'll pull together to restore our lives and the communities we call home. As one of the region's largest banks, Hibernia is doing our part to make sure our neighbors and visitors get the help they need, whether it's providing financial support that allows them to move forward or just a simple smile to help them get through a rough day. Because when you've been around for 135 years, as we have, you don't just view yourself as a bank, but as a neighbor who responds when there's trouble in the neighborhood. Call 1-888-855-BANK which is 2265. Or visit Hibernia.com to find a Hibernia location near you. And to learn more about what we're doing to help. Hibernia National Bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
That tells the story, 37-7. We need to put some of those Hibernia beads right on there for Rejazz New Orleans.
It looks like tears coming from that statue. Every Bulldog in the stadium may be shedding tears today.
And it's the Tigers. That's Vincent on the carry, and Vincent across midfield to about the 48 of MSU. As Vincent and other Tigers now going to get some additional action. It's time to Rejazz New Orleans. Rejazz New Orleans, a nonprofit organization sponsored by Hibernia Bank and dedicated to post-hurricane rebuilding. Visit www.rejazzneworleans.org to order your own Mardi Gras beads memento. That's rejazzneworleans.org. If you're nice to Renee, he might be able to give you a free pair, but you'd be better to buy them so that your proceeds would go to help those folks, ourselves included, who've been affected so severely by the storm. You saw the Bulldog faithful. Well, at least a few of them. Vincent through the line across the 40 and down to the 37 as he gets the first down. Vincent, an outstanding running back who back in 03 had a great season. It was his freshman year, more than 1,000 yards. He was the MVP in the SEC title game and the National Championship Sugar Bowl matchup. So he brings a lot to the table for the Tigers.
In most offenses, he would be a featured back. He's running third team right now, but a model citizen. Special teams extraordinaire. He was the special teams player of the year last year, making a lot of tackles. He said 2004 taught him a lot of humility and really brought him down to earth, and just a hard work and just a selfless guy, and just a great worker, a great part of this LSU offense.
Flynn, open receiver, Brazil, but Brazil just can't extend to make the grab. I think Flynn just had him led just a little bit too much.
And he also had on a crossing pattern Xavier Pee-wee Carter, who was all alone in the moonlight nearly, and had he looked to his right, Xavier Carter would have been prancing in for his second score of the campaign, and Benny Brazil a little upset. You see a couple of new pair of bookend tackles. Paris Hodges right there, number 78 from California, and Herman Johnson. Paris Hodges dresses out to about 6'5", 335. Herman Johnson, 6'7", 337, down 74 pounds from last year.
Flynn under center on 2nd and 10. The give, straight ahead Vincent, and he gets to the 35.
Garrett Weibel also in on offense. You know, Justin Vincent, when you turn the ball over to these guys who are really trying to make a mark, like a Justin Vincent, as talented as he is, sometimes you can run the score up. It's not just running the ball, because Justin Vincent wants to say this is his time to shine, and he does have the talent. He could start on most teams. Certainly if something happened to a die or anyone in front of him, Justin Vincent could certainly tote the mail.
3rd and 6 for the Tigers. They need to get to about the 28-yard line to get the first down. Flynn from the shotgun. Plenty of protection and off the hands of Carter. And if there's ever been an argument against Xavier Carter, it certainly has been his ability to catch the football. He's got the speed, and he has so many tools. He's a big old guy, but catching the football has been his biggest challenge.
Well, what happened that time is he let the ball get too close to his body. Got to catch it with his hands out in front of him, and he's still learning the position. Although, you know, he's a little tougher. People look at him as a track guy, and he told me over the summer, Doug, that he played a little linebacker and cornerback, and really toughened himself up in high school. And his cousin, or his uncle, Alonzo Jefferson, played running back at Notre Dame, worked a lot with him. But he's not just a track star, he's a tough football player.
You said back at Palm Bay High School in Florida that the coaches would line him up and say, go deep. He said they didn't really have many set plays, it just go. So Jackson, the all-SEC freshman baseball player, wants that one, and Mississippi State's coming back when we come back after this local break on Tiger Vision.
Home entertainment by Kadares. Kadares. The choice is clear.
Hey guys, are you between 18 and 55 and might be a little overweight? Well, the Pennington Center is doing an 18-week medication study on body fat and cholesterol levels. You will receive $1,800 at the completion of this study for your time and travel. So if you're a male between 18 and 55, a non-smoker, not taking any prescribed medications, and could use $1,800, you need to call our recruiters at 706-1004. That's 706-1004. Call today.
If you're a Blue Cross customer affected by Hurricanes Rita or Katrina, this message is for you. We want to help you get the health care you need when you need it. That's why we're granting a grace period for premium payments, providing access to all doctors and hospitals for covered medical services, and making it easy to get your prescriptions filled wherever you are. For more information, please call us at 1-800-599-BLUE. All of our 1,400 employees here in Louisiana are here to help you.
$37-7 LSU with a commanding lead here over the Bulldogs of Mississippi State. Tiger fans, follow all the action on the internet this season in the Go Zone, the newest feature of LSUsports.net. Get enhanced LSU game day coverage, picks from hundreds of hours of video archives, and don't miss a minute of live online action. Only in the Go Zone. Visit LSUsports.net to subscribe. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs as the give bouncing back out to the outside, still on his feet. That is Brandon Thornton, and he finally is run out of bounds by Karan Gordon, the cornerback out of Tampa, Florida. And my goodness, that was certainly the ability to escape and elude some tacklers as Thornton gets a nice chunk of yardage out of that one.
We came into this game with just 21 yards to his credit, but you see LSU was all bunched up. There was a pile here. He bounced out. The defensive players lost him. Sammy Joseph with a diving effort here. Karan Gordon with maybe a touchdown-saving tackle, as no one was close to him. And Mississippi State really digs himself out of a hole with 9:40 remaining here in the fourth, and a sparse crowd is still in attendance. But LSU is still strong. A lot of purple and gold in the stands.
And Karan Gordon, who made that tackle, is down on the field. Could be cramps. It's a very humid day. Temperature about 85 degrees. Humidity's very high. We've had rain and otherwise, so don't have a report on Gordon, but he seems to be able to get up and make his way off the field under his own power. That's always a good sign.
And then LSU can ill afford a defensive back. I'm sure you will not see Karan Gordon, I would think, for the rest of this game. If it's anything the staff feels is a
gain of 28 for the Bulldogs on the last play. And you see their rushing offense take away that one, and there's not much to it. 1st and 10. Hennig flips it as it's complete, and still on his feet across midfield and run out of bounds. That is Casey Rogers, the running back out of Hennigar, Alabama, seeing his first action of the day.
And Hennig, the offense stays the same, the scheme, as Hennig just rolls to the left, naked boot, looking for a receiver, mirrors Rogers and a little waggle look, and breaks one tackle here and is alone in the open until a tackle is applied for, but not before first down is attained. And Mississippi State with 2 first downs back to back.
Gain of 27, 55 yards on the last 2 plays combined. Hennig, the give straight ahead, and a gain of about 4. That's Thornton.
Well, again, LSU has had some trouble last week in the fourth quarter, and we'll see if it happens. They've had some problems the last couple series.
Before this drive, 3 and out, 4 consecutive series for the Bulldogs. And during that time, the Tigers just continuing to put points on the board. They've gained more than 60 on this drive. 2 of those plays have been 1 for 28, 1 for 27.
A lot of fresh faces. Luke Sanders in at linebacker, among others.
The pass from Hennig is complete at the 32-yard line, as Desmond Sherrod, the receiver. Sherrod, the tight end, 6'2", 245-pound sophomore who gets his first reception of the 2005 season.
Jason Spadoni with the tackle, former running back with the Tigers and former John Curtis product. Boy, he's a kamikaze. He gives you everything he's got. Empties his bucket. Special teams extraordinaire, and dynamo and special teams get his chance on defense.
1st and 10. Thornton on the carry again, as the pile carries him up to about the 17-yard line. You talked about Spadoni, and here he was in a pool of players, great running backs and fullbacks, and not big enough to really be the fullback. And in LSU's offense, the fullback doesn't see the ball very often, and for him to make that transition to linebacker, that takes a rare athlete to be able to do that.
Very unselfish player, and just wants to do what's good for the team. He does have another year to come back, and he does start at linebacker. They felt like he was too good to keep off the field. Being a former running back, he does know what he's looking for, can stay with the running backs coming out of the backfield as a receiver, and he's been a vital part of this defense and special teams.
Mississippi State calls a timeout as they were looking at a 2nd and 3 situation. LSU next week take on Vanderbilt, and want to remind everyone to tune in to your local radio dial to get your first chance to talk LSU football the day after the game on LSU Sunday Night Live. That's presented by Nissan. Talk about the game each Sunday with host Jordy Holtberg, locally in Baton Rouge on 107.3 FM and statewide on the LSU Sports Radio Network from 6 until 7 p.m. Central Time. Some other scores around the SEC presented by Hibernia Bank, where service matters. Tennessee, a 27-10 winner over the Rebels of Ole Miss. Alabama at the half beating up on 5th-ranked Florida, 24-3. Late kick tonight, South Carolina and Auburn. That should be a good one. 6 p.m. Central Time, Middle Tennessee against Vanderbilt. And the Commodores, of course, the upcoming opponent for the Tigers of LSU next Saturday. That's a 6 o'clock tilt this evening.
Interesting, Florida with their urban renewal offense. It's kind of sputtered a little bit, only producing 3 points against Alabama.
We saw a game where the team had only produced 3 points, and then the second half came. I think that was Monday night.
Yeah.
Maybe it was 7. Maybe it was none. The give straight ahead as Brandon Hart on the carry.
Brandon Hart, the ball carrier.
And I tell you, Renee, this is a type of the game, 4th quarter, 7:17 to go. As we look at the LSU sideline, and Les Miles, who'll get his first SEC victory as LSU's head coach. And this is the time of the game, just a lot of reserves playing. Guys are getting extra reps, and things can get a little sloppy.
Yeah, well, and some of these guys out there for LSU right now, and I guess the same holds true for Mississippi State, is they want to prove to the coach they need more playing time. And this is their opportunity right here with Tim Washington and Dominic Cooper and guys like that on the field for the Tigers.
Fakes the handoff to Hart. Hennig gets popped, but the pass is incomplete. His intended receiver was Jeremy Jones, redshirt freshman out of Harvey, Louisiana, as that was just beyond his outstretched hands.
Dominic Cooper was in coverage, and Jeremy Jones he initially agreed to come to LSU as a player, as a recruit, and changed his mind and had to sit out. He did sign with the Tigers and sat out and switched his allegiance to Mississippi State. Did commit to the Tigers and changed his mind. So he's very familiar with LSU.
On 2nd down, Michael Hennig, redshirt freshman, and he is popped. Taken down at the 23-yard line. And my goodness, how about the pursuit by LSU? And that was Ryan Willis, the defensive end, a junior out of New Orleans, Louisiana, who made the initial contact.
Ryan Willis is such a key player on defense. He can play either linebacker or defensive end, and he comes right from the outside. You see right here, pumped there by Hennig, and just give enough time for Ryan Willis to be on his back. Boy, just a quick step from the Holy Cross product out of New Orleans, Louisiana.
6'3" and 270 pounds. 3rd and very long. And Hennig needs a timeout to talk things over with his Bulldogs. 6:02 remaining, 4th quarter. 37-7 LSU. Just to give you a brief recap, if you've just joined us, the Tigers fell behind 7-0 with really just about a minute and a half into the first quarter as the Bulldogs capitalized on a 64-yard touchdown play. But after that, it has been all LSU with 37 unanswered points. Watch Coach Miles dissect the game on Inside LSU Football with, well, who else? Les Miles each week on the LSU Sports Television Network. Inside LSU Football with Les Miles airs at 10:35 p.m. on WBRZ Channel 2 in Baton Rouge. Check your local listings for the coverage of the Tigers in your area or visit lsusports.net. And certainly want to encourage you to support the Student Relief Fund for Hurricane Katrina. You can go to the website at www.katrinasrf.com. And I'm going to tell you, folks, there have been a lot of people and a lot of students who've been severely affected by Hurricane Katrina, and it's people like you out there who are able to step it up in a time of need and help out a great many people who've been affected by the hurricane. I know we have been as a family. Renee, I know you have been as well. Just a lot of people whose lives have been turned upside down and sidewise. So,
and this is spilled over to other parts of the country as well. It's not just the Gulf Coast.
Hennig scrambling. He'll tuck it in inside the 15 down to about the 13-yard line before he is taken down by Tyson Jackson, the big defensive end, the freshman out of Edgard, Louisiana.
Tyson Jackson, what a career he had. Two-way performer at West St. John, had 16 sacks as a defensive player. He had a chance to go to UCLA, Florida State, and Auburn, and cast his lot with the Tigers, and boy, LSU is really glad to have him. They were undecided at first upon his arrival if he played offense or defense, and he's really found a home at left defensive end.
As the backup to Melvin Oliver. You don't get a lot of playing time there. Oliver's as good as it gets. Hennig under pressure. He's hit from behind. Pass is incomplete. And Hennig, boy, did he take a shot from behind. And there's a Tiger who's down on the field.
Daniel Francis.
And Francis, well, if we get a chance to see this again, he came up from behind as Hennig was trying to unload the football. Back with more from Starkville after we take a network break here on Tiger Vision. Brought to you by Hibernia Bank. The Tigers up by 30.
My bank's free checking is free if you have direct deposit and a really big balance. I want to have free checking that's really free, even if I don't have direct deposit.
All we can do is take your money.
There is a bank where checking really is free. At Hibernia, our free checking comes with free online banking with no direct deposit required. To find out more, call 1-888-755-BANK or visit any Hibernia banking office. If you've been impacted by the recent hurricanes, we're here to help with your financial needs.
It's time to re-jazz New Orleans. New Orleans and the surrounding area is a national treasure and needs to be rebuilt. Re-Jazz New Orleans is a nonprofit organization dedicated to rebuilding schools, neighborhoods, and cultural venues destroyed by the hurricane. Visit www.rejazzneworleans.org to order your own Mardi Gras beads memento. The beads include a medallion acknowledging the hurricane and commemorating New Orleans. Working together, let's put the jazz back in the New Orleans region. The nonprofit organization, sponsored by Hibernia Bank, has been formed to give us all the opportunity to help rebuild the city and its surroundings.
My bank's free checking is free if you have direct deposit and a really big balance. I want to have free checking that's really free, even if I don't have direct deposit.
All we can do is take your money.
There is a bank where checking really is free. At Hibernia, our free checking comes with free online banking with no direct deposit required. To find out more, call 1-888-755-BANK or visit any Hibernia banking office. If you've been impacted by the recent hurricanes, we're here to help with your financial needs.
It's LSU by 30 with 5:46 to go here in the fourth quarter. Tiger fans, follow all the action on the internet this season in the Go Zone, the newest feature of LSUsports.net. Get enhanced LSU game day coverage, picks from hundreds of hours of video archives, and don't miss a minute of live online action only in the Go Zone. Visit LSUsports.net to subscribe. 1st and 10 for LSU.
Some new Tigers in. Again, tackled for the second series. Paris Hodges and Herman Johnson at the tackles. So Gary Weibel at right guard.
I don't think Sylvester Kroom has moved. Same position. He was in just a few. Same look he's had here for quite some time. As we talked about earlier in the broadcast, the Bulldogs in the middle of a tough part of their schedule, Renee.
Woo! They got Georgia, LSU this week, and Florida next week, and doesn't get any easier for Sylvester Kroom, who's been around the SEC, was a former All-American and SEC player at Alabama in the 70s.
Flynn, pass is complete. That's the big tight end, David Jones, who has his first grab of the day, and Jones across the 35, and they'll spot that at about the 37-yard line. Jones, the senior out of Springbrooks High School in Silver Springs, Maryland.
You know, that has been a very underutilized position. 2 years ago, in 2003, David Jones alone had 13 grabs. Just in 2004, the tight end position as a group only had 13 catches. That's the first completion to a tight end in 2005, and David Jones, boy, he is a total package. Great receiver. He's good enough, versatile enough to split out as a wide receiver, and 6'4", 259, good size receiver.
And for Jones, you say the first catch of the year for the tight ends as they give straight ahead.
Stephen Court
on the carry. That's right. Steve Court, a fullback, young man out of Mandeville, Fontainebleau High School in Mandeville, and the son of a former NFL New Orleans Saint, Steve Court.
High draft choice of the Saints guy that Steve is friends with both you and I, and his dad, Papa Court, is very proud, and I would assume if he's not at the stadium, he's watching and listening to this game. And Stephen Court is going to be a good fullback, one-back player, good receiver, and outstanding special teams performer as well.
As you can see, some LSU faithful have made the trip, and all smiles right now. This is the kind of thing that can lift a countenance for someone, especially after what many people have gone through in the midst of this storm. Court again on the carry. As Court picks up a couple more, you take a look at Mississippi State's upcoming schedule, and it can be a buzzsaw.
You know, they figured it was they termed Mississippi State as the easiest schedule in the SEC, but you look at Florida, Houston is a winnable game. Kentucky is not going to be so easy at Kentucky. Alabama, wow, look at what they did to Florida today. Arkansas at Little Rock, and of course Ole Miss, always for the Egg Bowl. And so I tell you, there's no
rest for the weary.
Wow. Well, the faint of heart here in Bulldog country.
Sylvester Kroom knew what he was getting himself into when he took the helm here, the 31st coach in MSU history. Matt Flynn has it deflected at the line of scrimmage, and that one falls, and there is a penalty flag on the play.
Some contact with the defensive backfield.
Looks like Titus Brown was the one who got his hand on that pass.
Offsides, defense, number 92. The penalty is 5 yards from the previous spot. It will result in a first down.
Charles Burns, the true freshman left end, is flagged for the penalty.
There's also a little contact in the defensive backfield. Our official didn't catch it, and LSU does pick up a first down on a penalty, and the drive continues as we're under 3 minutes, Doug, and pretty safe lead, 30-point advantage for the Tigers.
Penalties have been minimized since early on. First half, we saw quite a few. Looked like the UN out there, all those flags, but things have slowed down considerably. Tigers on first down, and the give once again is to Court. And Court, a young true freshman, 237-pounder. And I'll tell you, Dad probably had about 40 pounds on him during his heyday in the NFL, didn't he?
Yeah, and Steven was his dad. Papa Steve was a good center. Came in as an All-American guard from Arkansas. It came to the team to Saints in the second round. And they were only that top pick back when he came aboard in the early 80s. And Steve was a really solid center for quite a while with New Orleans.
Tigers on 2nd and 7 from their own 49. Flynn getting some much-needed reps here today. Most significant action of about his LSU career. And across midfield as Court, again the ball carrier, and picks up about 3. This is great for Matt Flynn, who is seeing his first action so far this year, Renee. and he needs to get those reps under his belt. And I know Tiger fans right now are excited. They want to see Ryan Perrilloux, don't they?
Yeah, they do, but it would be a moot point at this point with under 2 minutes to go to put him in, install him. And I know they'd like to even look at a red shirt situation for him if need be, but I'm sure he's kind of anxious to get out of the field and get an opportunity to play for the Tigers.
Skylar Green is to the slot to the left, and his next catch will tie a career high. It won't be on this play, as the catch is made by Xavier Carter, and Carter gets up to about the 41-yard line as the Tigers move the chains with a minute 11 to go.
11 yards. First down.
As we approach the final minute of this contest, fourth-ranked LSU taking it to the Bulldogs of Mississippi State, answering with 37 unanswered, now leading 37-7. And Matt Flynn, as the handoff goes to Court, and Court gains about 2 before he is swarmed by the Bulldog defense. And that could be the last play of this game. Renee Nadeau.
Yes, I think it will be. I think State wants to just collect themselves and move on next week, as they got a tough next game battle against Florida. LSU will travel up to Nashville against Vanderbilt, and that'll be an interesting game. But LSU really needed this game, much like they did last year after the loss to Auburn. They come back after that devastating loss to Tennessee and get their feet back under them and
fumble as Court loses the handle, and I believe MSU may have it with 5 seconds remaining, and it's going to be, as you say, a moot point as we come to the end of this game. Kyle Williams, 5 tackles and a sack, is our Hibernia Bank Defensive Player of the Game. The young man from Ruston, Louisiana, with an excellent performance, and Les Miles has his first victory as an LSU coach in the SEC.
Well, I tell you what, it could have come at a better time for these Tigers faithful to travel up to Starkville to witness the Tigers. We'll be going up to Nashville next week, and well, I tell you, this came at a great time, Doug, after last week, and who knows what can happen. Florida, Alabama still on the horizon for the Tigers, or Arkansas and Ole Miss, but this was a big step, a confidence booster, and something they all put it together, especially the way this game began. They persevered and very resilient, and came back and really shut down Mississippi State 37-7.
So the Tigers win by 30 points. We'll take a network break and be back to wrap this one up from Starkville. The Tigers get their first SEC win. Back with more after this network break.
Persistence. It's what kept Hibernia Bank in business for over 135 years. Through wars, depressions, hurricanes, and floods, persistence is also a trademark of the customers we serve. Though the events of the last month have impacted all of us, we'll pull together to restore our lives and the communities we call home. As one of the region's largest banks, Hibernia is doing our part to make sure our neighbors and visitors get the help they need, whether it's providing financial support that allows them to move forward or just a simple smile to help them get through a rough day. Because when you've been around for 135 years, as we have, you don't just view yourself as a bank, but as a neighbor who responds when there's trouble in the neighborhood. Call 1-888-855-BANK, which is 2265, or visit Hibernia.com to find a Hibernia location near you and to learn more about what we're doing to help. Hibernia National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
My bank's free checking is free if you have direct deposit and a really big balance. I want to have free checking that's really free, even if I don't have direct deposit.
All we can do is take your money.
There is a bank where checking really is free. At Hibernia, our free checking comes with free online banking with no direct deposit required. To find out more, call 1-888-755-BANK or visit any Hibernia banking office. If you've been impacted by the recent hurricanes, we're here to help with your financial needs.
We are back in Starkville, Mississippi, and it's in the books. The LSU Tigers with a 37-7 win over the Bulldogs of Mississippi, and who other than Mr. Bowe to be the offensive player of this game. 2 touchdown catches today.
And they really turned things around A couple of touchdown grabs for Dwayne Bowe. One right there in the corner, and another one that just physical. He just out-physical the defensive back, broke a tackle, and ran in from about the 25-yard line. There he is from Norland High School in Miami, Florida, the junior, 6'3", 217-pound Dwayne Bowe.
He certainly played an outstanding game, and the Tigers came back, really answered, I believe, a lot of critics today, especially after that second half struggle they had against the University of Tennessee. We saw a Jamarcus Russell who has played as well as he has ever played as an LSU Tiger, and the Tigers responding after taking a 7-0 setback at the start of this game really turned things around, and their offense hit full steam, Renee.
And they really threw water on that rumor that they couldn't play well in the fourth quarter against SEC competition. Jamarcus Russell, very sound, and all the running backs, Sharon Carey, Justin Vincent, and especially Joseph Adai, really asserted themselves and flexed their muscles. Offensive line played well and took control of the pits.
And of course, Skylar Green, an outstanding game as well. He had 8 catches, 1 shy of his career high. Here's a look at the remaining schedule for the Tigers, who have that first SEC win under their belt this year. Next Saturday, it'll be at Vanderbilt, and of course the Commodores playing tonight. Then against 5th-ranked Florida, Auburn, North Texas. That's a rescheduled game. It was originally scheduled to be the season opener, but because of Hurricane Katrina, it had to be postponed. Appalachian State on November 5th, that is, on November 12th at 15th-ranked Alabama, and then a week later at Ole Miss, and the season finale against the University of Arkansas. Certainly, when you look at the schedule here, Renee, it is favorable for the Tigers for them to go on and have a very highly successful season.
Well, you know, the thing is, the challenge is going to be against the Floridas and the Auburns and Alabama. Alabama, maybe one of the best and underrated defenses in the entire country. I think they have the best core of linebackers anywhere. Alabama, this is why they did a number on Florida today, and this is a team that LSU certainly can't overlook. It's always a tough battle when those two teams match up, but a great schedule, and they do favor the Tigers. Most of the tougher teams are in the friendly confines of Tiger Stadium.
Well, as we said, 37-7 is the final here from Starkville. We'll be back with some final thoughts after the Tigers have dispatched the Bulldogs of Mississippi State. Back after this network break.
It's time to re-jazz New Orleans. New Orleans and the surrounding area is a national treasure and needs to be rebuilt. Re-Jazz New Orleans is a nonprofit organization dedicated to rebuilding schools, neighborhoods, and cultural venues destroyed by the hurricane. Visit www.rejazzneworleans.org to order your own Mardi Gras beads memento. The beads include a medallion acknowledging the hurricane and commemorating New Orleans. Working together, let's put the jazz back in the New Orleans region. The nonprofit organization, sponsored by Hibernia Bank, has been formed to give us all the opportunity to help rebuild the city and its surroundings.
My bank's free checking is free if you have direct deposit and a really big balance. I want to have free checking that's really free, even if I don't have direct deposit.
All we can do is take your money.
There is a bank where checking really is free. At Hibernia, our free checking comes with free online banking with no direct deposit required. To find out more, call 1-888-755-BANK or visit any Hibernia banking office. If you've been impacted by the recent hurricanes, we're here to help with your financial needs.
It's a final in Starkville, 37-7, the LSU Tigers over the Bulldogs of Mississippi State. It's time to re-jazz New Orleans. Re-Jazz New Orleans, a nonprofit organization sponsored by Hibernia Bank and dedicated to post-hurricane rebuilding. Visit www.rejazzneworleans.org to order your own Mardi Gras beads memento, those sporty things that Renee Nato is wearing right now. That's rejazzneworleans.org. Well, the Tigers certainly responding well after they falling behind 7-0. And Renee, I think a lot of smiles on a lot of people's faces when you're looking from LSU's standpoint right now.
Well, don't be fooled by this score. LSU beat a quality opponent. Mm-hmm. They took control of the line of scrimmage, and they really ran the ball on Mississippi State, passed the ball. Jamarcus Russell had a coming-out party, if you will, for 2005. And this may lead to bigger and better things. But this is an LSU team that hit stride today, and we're hitting on most of their cylinders. And, again, Mississippi State's going to be a good team before this is all over.
The only thing we did not see is a catch from Buster Davis, whose streak of 14 consecutive games came to an end. Did not get any receptions today, but when you look elsewhere, the defense played outstanding today, notching a handful of sacks. And, of course, as we mentioned, Kyle Williams leading that at the forefront of that defensive line. The offense Jamarcus Russell spreading the ball around very successfully, and they were just very impressive today.
And a good thing about this, a lot of fuzzy-cheeked Tigers got some game experience against SEC competition that'll always help down the road.
Well, that'll do it from here in Starkville, Mississippi, where the LSU Tigers have dispatched the Bulldogs of Mississippi State. 37-7 is the final. We want to thank our good friends with Hibernia Bank, where service matters, being the exclusive sponsor of this television program here today. For our entire Tiger Vision crew, Doug Tutt, our producer, for my good friend Renee Nato, I'm Doug Ringard saying thanks for watching. We hope to see you down the road on future Tiger Vision broadcasts. So long from Starkville, and God bless.